Pirates of the Mesozoic, starring Craig Smith, Donald Vaughn Griffin, Kieran Torres, Leslie Denneberger, Lud Montgomery, and me, the GM, Brandon Blackmore. When last we left our travelers in space and time, they were in what the people of Tranquility call Outworld. Craig's character, who are you gonna be? Is your character gonna start going by Isco?
Yeah.
All right, Isco.
Probably we'll have some confusion or which one to go by, and then we'll settle on that.
Okay, well, Isco himself may seem confused from time to time, but eventually he's settling on Isco. So we, the players, will refer to him as Isco for now.
Totally fine.
He went and decided to go buddy up with the gang of Edgelord, who none of you have actually met yet, but you've heard unsavory things about him. To summarize what you have heard, his gang are basically guys from the town or people who had just were visiting or passing through who were already unsavory. For the most part, they were people who were just kind of shifty. Like, they had a job in the town, they did something useful, and you could just kind of live with that when it's a town in your middle of the desert, essentially. But you know you don't loan them money, and you know they're going to get in bar fights. They're just that kind of people. And a couple of people who were just passing through town who just were also that kind of people or worse. And then Edgelord showed up about 6 months ago, and he talks a lot. He makes speeches that don't make a great deal of sense, but he treats women shamefully. And this is coming from men from the 1870s. So they're not exactly enlightened when it comes to women folk. But Edgelord, he's just not right. So, and also he's they wouldn't call it racist because that's not really how they phrase things then. But when it comes to Chinamen or Mexicans, those are basically the only two other like well, they say niggers, but I'm just gonna call them black people. So when I say black people, you can picture like what a person in the 1870s would say, because I don't feel like saying that all night. Anyway, you get the impression when they say that they're not necessarily being derogatory; they're being descriptive. It's just the way they describe things.
Exactly.
And there's like an assumption.
Back then. It wasn't necessarily meant as pejorative back then. It was just what you said.
Yeah, I mean there is definitely the assumption that white people are better than they are.
Yeah.
But it's not so much mean-spirited as it is just like an internalized pecking order that is just the way they assume the world works. So I'm not saying it's right, but it falls short of somebody who in 2019 is going to go out and burn down a church or something. It's just, it's a different level.
From what I understand, if most of these people are from post-Civil War.
But most of them, yeah.
Yeah, they wouldn't have been too happy about this fact that all of a sudden.
Yeah, but you're talking about people like in Nevada, like these are not. Yeah, these are not people from South Carolina, you know, who are these some of the people in the town fought, and they don't call it the Civil War though.
They call
it. They just call it the war, but. Oh, anybody here like have and actually that we're on this topic.
A friend of my mom was real old school. It was the War of Northern Aggression.
Yeah, see, they don't call it that.
However, the polite term was the recent unpleasantness.
See, they're not genteel Southerners. These are these are cowboys. I mean, they're that whole end of the war, that whole reason for it, and the various sides, that's all kind of a couple of steps removed from the people who actually live in this town.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they were, most of them, on the side of the Confederacy. But it's not so much a matter of, you know, wanting to preserve slavery and all that kind of stuff. To them, it's just like, oh, Yeah, you're part of the Confederacy, ergo we need you to come fight and go shoot at people. It's not really for most of the people. I'm not saying it's everybody, but for most of the people in this town, it was more a matter of that this is where you live and this is what's happening and you need to go do this. So,
That's what it was for most of the soldiers in the Civil War. They were
well,
more defending their own property than
I
fighting
I
for a
I
cause.
really don't want to get into that,
Hmm.
but for
Yeah,
this town, that's
yeah.
basically how it went. Okay, because again, these guys are in like
Most of their
Nevada,
time,
very close to the border to Mexico. So
Okay.
yeah,
they're
most of the Civil War for out there was all of the refugee soldiers
Hmm.
that hit after the war.
and there's a bunch of that too.
That's
Yeah,
most
like
of their
about
Civil
a
War
about a quarter of the. Oh, here's other things. About a quarter. I haven't really stressed this, but Rose, she calls herself Sheriff Hood. Everyone else in the town calls her Sheriff Rose, and it's not like they're being pejorative or or like putting her down. It's more of an affection thing. Because when she's talking to you, she comes off as she's putting forth a persona of being a badass who's in charge and has control of things. But when people talk about her, it's affectionate. They like her, which is a little out of doesn't quite match up with how she acts around you. Because around you, she acts like she's a professional. But the other people in town, they clearly like her. So, but she's a black lady. So
Hmm.
there's about a quarter of the town is black folks, and then there's about I don't know an eighth to a tenth of the town that is apparently Chinese, and they don't dress in black pajamas with coolie hats. They dress just like everybody else. They look like cowboys. Oh, I got a picture for you. Hang on. I'll show you that because that's kind of fun. This is a picture of actual, real life Chinese cowboys.
Yeah, as a by the way, Brandon, just
Yeah,
I find it amusing that you used the term "the war" because that was what we used at the Museum of the Confederacy when we were giving tours. Because
really?
for some people, it is a point of contention. You don't call it the Civil War because they get offended, and so I just solved the problem by saying just say the war. They're going to know which one you're talking about. It's not like we're going to be talking about World War II here. It's a museum of the Civil War.
Yeah. Oh, and here's some. Okay, so this is
Confederacy only really fought the one.
Mm-hmm.
well. Here's
That
something.
was only
Is
their
anybody here a historian? In your does anybody
Oh,
here have
in
sciences as a or culture, which would
Yes.
include
Let's go ahead with
history?
culture.
I
Yeah.
do
Well,
culture.
would it
Same.
include history of this era?
Yeah,
Probably not though.
probably not. Well, mine's archaeology.
Probably not then. Not for you.
Probably not.
Okay. Well, if you have a science that would include history or a culture that would include history of the late 1800s,
Civil War reenactor here.
you definitely would. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know about anybody else. You can make your own choices about that. But as far as Charles, wait, was it Charles?
Michael.
Michael. I knew it was some name like that. As far as Michael is concerned, when you hear people talk, because they don't make a point to bringing it up because
Hmm.
it's not something they actually like talking about, because
Yeah.
people died. uh, when they left in 1876, it was still going on.
Okay.
This is a clue
Oh,
because in our world, it wasn't.
it was over.
It was over.
Yeah, by quite
Yeah.
a ways.
Yeah,
Seven,
We'll
and
have Michael very interested.
and
Um,
if you ask questions, you need to be very diplomatic about it because again, the people you're talking to knew people who died, friends of theirs, family members.
Yeah.
So there's that, and there's kind of like an unspoken agreement that people just don't talk about it. They've decided to move on because it's well clearly it's nowhere around here, so it doesn't do any good, and yeah, they have bigger concerns. But if you're diplomatic about it, make a diplomacy roll.
Which is
Presence
something
and
I don't have,
diplomacy,
I don't
and I'll
think.
roll against you.
I don't
If
think I
you-
have diplomacy.
Then roll 1d6 and your presence.
Okay, hold on a second while I work my way around the cat.
Do what you gotta do. I gotta find my dice anyway.
That's what I got to do is work my way around the cat and find the dice.
Okay. I need,
And no, Penny, you can't roll them.
Let's see. 1d6 plus
Just
your.
to hear
I don't think.
her.
I don't think you can do it. Your presence isn't
Probably
5,
not.
is it?
No.
Which presence?
My power is 5. That's the only
Okay.
thing that is.
You
Oh,
failed.
well,
So,
if you want to mind control someone into telling you what happened.
well, he wouldn't
Nah,
do that. He
I
wouldn't do
wouldn't do
that.
that.
Come on.
And I wouldn't ask if I don't think I have the presence of mind to do so. I'd probably
Well,
just
that's
observe.
kind of what the role is. Is you don't
Yeah.
realize it until afterward.
Okay, yeah.
Hmm.
I would prefer to go the book route, but I don't think they have any books. Or do they?
No, this doesn't matter. It was happening while it was when they left.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe newspapers or something like that.
Gonna say, check and see if they had a newspaper
Yeah.
office.
Or some other
They kept
periodical.
newspapers.
Well, actually, Sam Winston is the editor of the Tranquility Times, or is
That's
it the
right.
Tranquility Gazette? Hang on, I forgot what I named that.
The Gazette.
Let's see.
Oh, I always like picking it in this.
Oh, Tribune, the Tranquility Tribune.
Oh, okay, that's all.
So he actually is the editor and sole proprietor now
Does he keep
of the.
Does he keep any of the old issues?
Oh, he's.
In
You can talk to him about it later. We
yeah, I know.
didn't have time to do it now, and it's actually it's his whole thing. So we'll fast forward past or we'll
We were
postpone
kind of
that.
about to go into combat, if I recall.
You are, but I'm kind of
Monsters.
filling you in some backstory. So
Oh,
here's the
that's right,
thing.
we were- yeah.
Before you went on the whole trip
Bugs.
out to go find Emmet,
Mhm.
Michael talks to people, and you make some faux pas when you ask some questions because you don't mean you mean well, but clearly they're a bit kind of prickly about it because for them, that war was still going on when they left.
Okay.
So they've kind of agreed to not talk about it.
Mhm.
But the gist of it is there were like 5 different, I don't want to call them factions exactly, but there was the Union, there was the Confederacy, there was the Indian Nation. I think that's actually the Apache Nation. There was, although neither the Confederacy nor the Union recognizes it, there's the Kingdom of Deseret, which is essentially Utah. So when they're describing the war, it is not exactly the way you remember it, or
Yeah.
at least remember it being recorded.
Mhm.
So there's that. I think that's relevant for you to know. Right. Meanwhile, Craig, Isco, goes and hangs out at the Bittersweet, which is the whole name of the place is the Bittersweet Memories Tea Room. That's what the sign out front says. And like everything else in town, it has not been repainted in 10 years. So it's all kind of flaky and stuff, but you can still see it because it's like carved into the wood.
But it once used to be a grand location.
It used to be, whereas the Red Dog was kind of like the local pub. The Bittersweet Memories Tea Room was elaborate
house.
and had a chandelier and had velvet curtains and showgirls, and it was a more
whorehouse.
high class place.
Yeah, it doesn't mean it wasn't posh. It was a whorehouse.
It even still has a madam, if I'm not mistaken. Wasn't there a madam, Brendan?
There is Miss Veronica who runs the place. Hang on, I'll show you Miss Veronica. Where is she? Here we go. Okay. When you go in and you leave John Erlang outside, excuse me. Actually, you guys split up to like snoop around, and Isco decided, hey, I'll just go in and ask them questions. What are they going to do?
Yeah.
So, which came as a little bit of surprise to John, but that's okay. Okay, this is Miss Veronica, who appears to be in charge of the place. There are a number of other women, some young, some not young at all, who are dressed up in various flamboyant outfits. Nothing you would describe as scanty or skimpy or anything like that. It's more like burlesque looking, really.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, the Wild West had high-class whorehouses, which is what this sounds like.
Well, I'm not going to speculate on that because I'm not an expert. I'm just telling you how they're dressed.
No, I've studied the Civil War, and I did pick up a little bit of and I used to watch a lot of westerns when I was a kid.
And we know how accurate those were.
Yeah, true. They're not that accurate. But I do read a lot of Civil War stuff.
Usually,
No,
the
I,
bigger the town, the higher class the cat house.
Hmm
I was
Say
gonna
what?
say, are you kidding me? I think I've heard all of the Fort Laramie's and Gunsmokes out there. I'm with you, Leslie.
I didn't quite hear what you said, Lloyd.
I said, usually the bigger the town, the higher class the cat house. Case in point, Washington, D.C., when they did a census, they figured they had about 20 of them during the
Wow.
1860s of various qualities, ranging from really awful to extremely expensive.
Well, Tranquility was at its height not a big town. It had like 1,000 people. I mean, it's not a village, but I mean, it's still not. I mean, it's not Tombstone. It's not San Francisco.
That's substantial for the west of the Mississippi. Yeah.
It was the biggest town within several days' ride. So, and anyway, so you got Miss Veronica Cisco. Miss Veronica is running the place. There's a 6, 7 guys hanging around playing poker. There's a guy drinking beer. Everybody looks, for lack of a better word, native. They look like they belong here. They're cowboys. You are the only person. Oh, Cisco's like Hispanic or something, right?
The Filipinos would be somewhat Hispanic, somewhat
Oh, Filipino.
South
Okay.
Yeah, Asian. Yeah.
What would someone in Nevada in the 1870s think someone from the Philippines looks like?
Mexican.
They'd probably think you look Mexican. Okay,
Probably, yep.
so
Yeah.
to be so everybody's prepared. I don't plan to get like hugely racist or anything, but it's gonna get a little bit. So please know that I'm not trying to offend anybody. I'm just trying to like portray what these guys look like. And these guys are not the good guys. They're not the good guys. They're the bad
No,
guys.
they're not.
I understand.
They're not the worst guys you're gonna meet, but they're not good guys. They're
Well,
on the
also not-
bad end of the spectrum.
Right back.
That Isco has spent time in prison in China. And
But he's met worse people, I'm sure.
Oh my God, yes. So it's probably tame compared to that.
Actually,
He might be the
they
best
think
one.
they're badasses, and from Cisco's point of view, they're like amateurs.
Right?
Yeah, I was gonna say I'd have advised against this until that point came up. At which point, no, you do you.
I might become his right-hand man. Badass. That'd be funny.
It would be useful.
That's actually kind of my intention. Oh, I didn't actually tell you guys that. I would have given a note to Lloyd character. I forget names. I always forget names in these because we don't have like how long my
Name
name
tags.
is. Yeah.
Lloyd's playing John Erlang.
That's right, John.
Leslie's playing Michael
McLaughlin.
McLaughlin.
Yeah.
Donald is Captain Harrows. You are Isco, and Kieran is Anne something.
Lent.
Are these on the page? I
They're
got it
actually
there.
not. I've not updated the part.
Oh, you're slacking.
So, yeah, I'm a slacker. What can I say? Oh, Anna Lantane, right?
Yep.
Lantane. Yeah, okay. So
That's
Anna,
it.
or Dr. Lantane, or Dr. Anna. Now these are things that the production people call her. What she wants to be called, that's up to you, Kieran. I'm just telling you what, like the
They're
production
my
assistants would
colleagues.
call
They
you.
can call me Anna.
Anna works. So there you go. So Isco goes in, and the initial reaction is suspicion and amusement because a Mexican just walked into their bar, and boy, you're not getting out of here in one piece. So make a do you have diplomacy?
I sure do.
Make a diplomacy roll. This is just a generalized getting along with the underclasses kind of
So I've
roll.
also got is that the streetwise part of that?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So that's 2 dice and add presence, is that right?
Yes, it is. If you have expertise, you re-roll any dice that are 1 or 2 until they are more than 1 or 2.
I do not. So
Oh
that would
shit!
be
I rolled like almost max. Yeah, they are super hostile.
That's a 9 modified.
Okay. You failed a little bit when you come in and you want to like blend in because
culture thing threw me off.
clearly they do not want you to blend in. So you're kind of coming in at a disadvantage. However, we're fast forwarding a bit because otherwise we'll spend the next 2 hours on you, and everybody else will just be sitting here. So, over the course of the next hour or so, you play poker with them, you hang out with them, you tell stories that you think they would understand, and gradually you blend in because they're basically thugs, and you have experience blending in with thugs.
Exactly.
So we're just gonna flow with that.
Okay.
Uh,
So basically, I'm using perception also to figure out who are the really the dangerous ones in there, who I really need to watch. Who might, I don't know. Yeah, I like that.
And you would have experience with trying to find out who the most dangerous person is because of your time in
Yep.
prison.
make a reason plus survival roll to figure out who are the scariest players in the room.
Perception, but not survival.
Hmm?
I have perception, but not survival. I heard that made more sense than survival.
You can make perception works. That's fine.
And then add reason.
Yes, please.
9.
I'm rolling really well. So you're not sure. Let me put it this way: none of these guys seem like they're in charge. There's a couple of guys that seem more blustery and more assertive than the other guys. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're in charge. They may just be insecure.
It also exactly. It also may not mean that they're that dangerous because they talk too much or
Could be.
they act too much like it.
Could be. Um,
Cool.
one thing you do figure out is Edgelord is not here.
Hmm.
He's out doing something else somewhere else. In fact, you kind of get the impression over the course of a couple of hours of playing poker and drinking beer with these guys that while they answer to him, they don't actually like him that much. None of them can take him. He could if he wanted, he could do whatever he wants. Nobody can stop him. That's the general consensus there. They don't come right out and say that, but if it's heavily implied in some of the things they say that they don't particularly like him, and if he didn't have magic powers, that's not how they would put it. Supernatural powers, um, but the gist of it is if he couldn't do things that normal people can't do, oh, they probably would have tied him to the back of a horse and run him out of town ages ago.
So I try to lead
I'm
down
wondering-
that path and find out what kinds of things can you do. What
That
can they seem to do?
that would be diplomacy.
That works. I have diplomacy.
You're trying to get information out of them that
Yep.
if they were thinking clearly, they would know is dangerous stuff to talk about. You need a 10.
I got actually I rolled back, so I got a 14.
Zowie. So 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, that's awesome. You get a guy who's started drinking at the crack of noon. So you get essentially anything
late
you do to him. I'm sorry, what?
A late bloomer.
The gist of what they say is anything you do to him will hurt you. If you shoot him, the bullet will hit you. If you stab him, the knife will stab you. No one really understands how that works. It does not make sense to anyone here. But that's what happens.
That's
He
gonna make
stands
sense.
there,
It does
and
make
if you
sense.
try to kill him, the bullet will hit you. So they tell you about a guy in the town who currently is walking around on crutches because he lost a leg because he shot at Edgelord and the bullet took him off at the shin. So yeah, the town people learned real quick, leave him alone because if you do anything to him, it's just gonna hurt you. Now these guys all have guns, so none of these guys have superpowers. They're just guys with guns. And
I see.
Edgelord believes very firmly that everyone should have guns as long as they're on his side. So, and also he's got some weird ideas about the Chinamen, and they're too social or something. It doesn't make sense. Just kind of nod when he's around and say, "Yeah, damn straight,
Yes,
damn
boss.
straight,
Yes, boss.
yeah."
The other thing I'm trying to find out is, do you have any lieutenants or any like trusted advisor types that
He's
you know?
he's actually not that. He doesn't trust anybody.
Okay.
It's like that's another thing that you gather from their general disgruntledness.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't really have a number two. He's got
Huh.
them, which he tells what to do, but he doesn't treat any of them like they're his assistant. They're all just like his, I don't know, people who
Lackeys?
lackeys. Yeah, they don't use the word lackey, but
Minions.
that's
I
what it
understand.
is.
I understand.
Yeah.
So did I know that everyone else was also coming to? Did I leave before they were coming to do whatever they're going to do? Do I know anything about that?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay. Well, okay.
It
Yeah.
sounds like anybody who comes to this town after a certain point comes with an alternate personality and powers, like the newcomers. Apparently,
Or some people do.
yeah.
Yeah, some maybe. Yeah. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Well, I'll file that away and do with it what I can.
Yeah, I mean, I know how to get rid of Edgelord already.
Well, keep it to yourself, because it's. I want that to
I
be
know.
like a big thing. If he shows up and you knock him out in one hit, that's going to be just really disappointing.
No, the trick
He's
is
like an
a
epic
lot-
villain, man. You can't just like, I'm Doctor Doom, blam. Oh, he's down.
No.
What was that? It was that? I really
You
thought that'd last longer.
You hog tie him out in the field and see how many dinosaurs he can kill.
Yeah, because if it
Anyway.
him, yeah, I wonder what happened if a dinosaur tried to eat him.
So we go back to what we were doing over
That's
here.
really cool.
But that's just like an off the top of my head thought that I bet you none of them ever thought of.
Oh, I think I know a way we can deal with him.
Okay,
I think we
so
know something about it.
meanwhile, everybody else went off to go find Emmet. Emmet, every month or so, goes out to a place about not even a whole half day away. It's about a third of a day away. It's maybe 3 hours walk out of town. There is over a hill. There is a grove of trees that grow what the people in town call peaches. I'm getting like a weird clicky sound. Do you hear that?
Yeah.
Peaches, peaches. Two. The
I'm
hell?
hearing it as some kind of electronic zot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard it with two, but not peaches.
Two. Peaches. Well, maybe it's just
We heard that time.
internet weirdness. They call them peaches. They're about the size of a peach, but they look like small cantaloupes, and they've got like a dunk 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 heavy rind. But the inside is like a peach. It's not quite as sweet as a peach, but close enough. Anyway, Emmett goes to this place about once a month, loads up a cart, and brings it back to town. And on the way there, Sheriff Rose, she tells you that yeah, Emmett's been doing this for years. He knows what he's doing. He's no greenhorn. You know, he always goes by himself. He always comes back. So it is a matter of concern that he didn't come back because something significant must have happened to him. You got to with the path that goes. It's not so much a path as it's like a deer trail or a dinosaur trail. It goes between two big rocks over a hill, and then over the hill there's the grove that has the peach trees. You ran into, or you found rather, his cart, which was full of peaches, facing back toward town, and blood, and no Emmet. Then ant creatures attacked you. Oh, I'll show Craig because he has not seen them yet. Oh, and I guess he still hasn't.
So we didn't wait for him. We went with. I guess we went with.
Apparently not.
no.
He's busy drinking.
He's been drinking and finding stuff out. Where did I put them?
Remember,
Where am I-
we wanted to get out there, even though it was starting to get dark.
This is
So
true.
if he's drinking with him, he's doing that after dark. I'm sure.
Yeah, he's busy. We'll move past him. Okay, ant creatures. There you go.
So
Someday, if you
apparently
ever
aliens are ending up in this place too. 'Cause I'm guessing it's an alien of some sort.
okay. So you ran into those guys. They attacked you. You killed several of them. One ran away. You killed him too. I think you killed all of them, right? There's four. You killed them.
All the
Killed them
ones
all.
that originally attacked, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're getting ready to invade the hive.
And Anne took one of their sword type weapons, which is apparently made out of resin.
Yeah, and then we got ambushed by them, except they
Yes,
died.
just outside a tunnel that has a stream coming out of it. You got attacked by two that were on guard, and you killed them. Basically, John Erlang and Anna killed them, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
They were on
know I
guard,
have
but-
a witty rejoinder, but that's
And
all.
we suspect that the kid may still be alive somewhere in the tunnels. Probably.
Yeah,
You did?
There's a space off to the right in the tunnel that we suspect you may be in.
Okay, where's my little map? I got a little map here. Gotta show you my map. Where's my map? Oh, there's my
And
map.
that's when we realized how late it was, and we weren't finishing this fight.
We were not finishing it on this day. No. Ant People Cave. Aha! I actually have an idea for this. Oh, I've learned recently that at some point Google Hangouts, which is what we're using here, is going to be going away.
Oh no.
Yeah, I know, Leslie. It sucks. We'll find something else we can use. I'm thinking maybe Discord or possibly Facebook. Facebook has a video chat thing too.
No, not Facebook.
And
No?
Discord only lets
Not unless
Discord.
you want to set me up with a VPN virtual machine. that I
Why
will
are they getting rid of Google
on
Hangouts?
under assumed names?
Why are
Because
they?
that is the only way I will ever agree to their privacy policy.
So
Why
I thought
are
it was
they
just
getting
an
rid of
app.
Google Hangouts?
I thought it was just a Google Hangouts app. You can still use it as an extension off of Chrome. I thought.
It's still doing the same. It's still it's still doing the same stuff to you.
You don't want to. You don't want to go to Discord because then we can't see each other's faces. We'll only hear each other's voices. I already know this.
Oh, really? Okay.
Discord doesn't have video?
No, there's no video.
Okay, I've only ever used Discord for chat.
Same here.
For text.
They do not have video. Not as far as I know.
Yeah. We actually use Discord for our Thursday night D&D games, but it's only audio. I haven't actually tried doing video, so. Well, I'll look into it. Apparently, we've got like a
Roll 20.
maybe Roll20 would work. I'll look into it. I'm just letting you know things may change at some point.
Last time I tried Roll20, they didn't have a video system. You had to patch in Hangouts, but I hear that has changed.
My screen just went completely black. What's going on? Hang on.
So I'd be willing to look at Roll20 again. Because last time they were using Hangouts for their video, and that just didn't work.
Yeah, I've got an account with them that I never used, but I signed up with them.
Yeah, see if they have a built-in video that's got any kind of robustness to it.
All right, I'll check it out.
I do not know. There's also a thing called what's it called? Azure? No. Avalon? No. It's something like that. Ether? It's not Ether. Anyway, there's another one similar to Roll20. My stuff all crashed, so give me a minute.
Okay.
I think I might have too much running at once.
Yeah, I heard a rumor about Hangouts like 3-4 months ago. I heard a rumor about a slow shutdown beginning in October, but you know how Google is with time frames.
Why? Why are they doing it? Or without even launching something else?
Same reason they got rid of Google Plus.
Yeah. I think it's actually due to some upcoming legislation that isn't out of the lobbyists yet. I think what's going to end up happening, part of the whole cyber protection, because of how our elections have been influenced through social media. Every single one of the rules about doing that is going to impose some strictures that obviously Google doesn't think they want to be a part of.
Actually, they are replacing it. They're replacing it with something called Hangouts Chat and Hangouts Meet
Okay.
in October.
Okay.
Quote, that's when Google will start retiring the classic Hangouts app for the G Suite customers. So when you should expect to hear the first wave of people complaining about being forced to switch, only those G Suite customers will be at first. Let's see.
Are you gonna have to pay for this new thing?
I think G Suite's pay, is it not?
Let's see. Doesn't say.
Yeah, I think
Hangouts is going away. If you've been dreading the day you'll have to replace it, you'll have to replace it with much nicer looking Hangouts Chat and Hangouts Meet. New guidance from Google on when the switch will be happening. It will start in October. They don't say you have to pay for it.
Yeah, but I think it's they're taking down some infrastructure to exempt them from some of the things that we're going to have to do to solve this problem we've got. I think that's what, and Facebook's the one that's sitting there going, "There's no problem. There's no problem," and there's obviously a problem.
Okay, the thing I was going to do is not working. It just keeps crashing. So, instead, I'm just going to show you the whole map and we'll just live with it. How's that? Because why not? Wait, where's the other thing? Oh, it's always something. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Let's try this. Okay.
Remember the days when you could just like put a couple of pieces of paper over it?
Yeah, well.
Yeah, we've seen most. I think you showed most of it to us last time and told us to ignore certain things.
Where's... I don't know what's going on. What the hell is going on? No. It just... I hope it didn't just immediately...
doing it is because they are the new standard called RCS. That's why they're getting rid of some of the older Outlook and Hangouts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a new standard. That's called RCS.
Okay.
Romeo Charlie Sierra.
Okay. I'm trying...
Oh, this is okay. This is that mobile protocol.
Okay.
I see what they're doing. They're going mobile based.
I'm going mobile.
Yeah, no, this is a GSMA.
Okay. I'm ready.
It's a GSMA
Sorry.
standard. Okay.
Sorry about that.
Okay, that explains a lot.
Had some trouble with... well, it doesn't matter. Okay, so here's
Because all of
where...
this stuff is actually like server based.
Here's where you guys are. Outside this cave. Okay? John Erlang with Blind Sight, which doesn't actually let you see. It just lets you navigate, essentially, and fight.
Or blind fighting, I think.
Yeah. Walked in here about another 5, 10, 15, 20... like another 50, 60 feet. And there is a creek basically going the whole way in and then curves to the right. And then there's a couple of rooms on the right, and there's a tunnel going off to the left. That's what John Erlang sensed as he went in. He got to an area where the next room he's going to go into, he clearly heard movement and like noises like that. And then he came back out and told you what he heard and sensed. And that is where we wrapped up.
Yep.
So...
All right, so let's rush in and kick everybody's ass.
I like this plan. Proud to be a part of this plan.
Yep.
What, really?
And turn on the flashlight. I mean, you know.
Yeah, I'm afraid stealthy just ain't gonna work because we're gonna find the kid, and unfortunately, I can't do that blind sight. So yeah, we're gonna have to create some light here.
Oh my gosh, I completely forgot something. Okay. This is my mistake. Every 10 feet or so, there is a bug the size of a. Wait, is this still pointing at me? Oh, I'm still sharing. There you go. There is a bug about the size of a beach ball hanging from the ceiling, and most of the bug's body mass is its butt, which glows like a firefly.
Okay.
I am sorry. I meant to mention that, and I didn't, and that's on me. So
Okay.
that's every like 10 to 15 feet.
All right. In which case, I will stay shapeshifted into a bug monster until I can get far enough in to find out if the kid is still here.
Okay. They care about smell. I'm wondering how to do that. Shapeshifting. Hang on. Let me go look at what I wrote down for shapeshifting, because maybe I covered that. I don't know. It's a mystery. I have no idea what I do and why. No, that's shrinking. That's not what I wanted. Hang on. Ah, here we go. Shape and appearance, not master size. Let's see. They can attempt a perception reason roll against your deception, presence plus power level if they suspect you are not who or what you appear to be. That's what we'll do. So you make a deception, presence plus power level roll. I will make perception reason against it. See if the ant creatures as that you pass as you're strolling around notice that you do not smell quite right.
Hmm.
You need to roll an 11.
I rolled a 12, actually.
Okay, that is so close. A couple of times while you're roaming through tunnels, like the ant creatures click at you, um, but you just going about your business, I guess, because you don't know ant.
Right. I'll stride imperiously past them as if I own the place.
Clearly, you have important places to go, so
Yes.
they just shrug and or whatever ant people do and continue on their business. And no one actually stops you or attacks you or tries to eat you. A couple of things you run into. There's a cave that has big bugs that are being milked for like a thick pudding like substance that is apparently food. Um, and
Horrible.
it's revolting. And there are the bugs that are light sources, and there are a couple of other bugs here and there that appear to serve some kind of purpose, but you'd have to actually hang out for a while and watch what they do,
Oh, why
and
not?
not something you want to do. Okay, that's fine.
Just want to find the kid and get out of here.
So
Moving
the
on.
summarizing, the ant creatures have domesticated more or less other insect creatures for
Right.
purposes. Okay, you do eventually find a room that has humans in it. There are some that are brown and vaguely um, Indian looking. Um, that are wearing like almost nothing, like a loincloth and some leather boots that are like tied with leather thongs, that kind of thing. Um, a couple of there's a guy who looks like a Roman soldier, like literally, he looks like a Roman soldier. He's got like the leather breastplate and a skirt. Um,
And the brush
and
on his head?
no, any weapons or anything that they recognize as armor is taken, but that's leather, so they didn't take it. Um, but like his greaves have been gone. He's barefoot, so that kind of thing.
Mhm.
No swords, nothing like that. And you see a fella who looks like a cowboy, and
Okay.
they're all chained up in an area. You don't know what the ants have intended for them. Probably not good.
Okay. Are there any ants standing guard, and how well chained up are they?
One moment. tell you what. I mean, since you've already passed your shape changing thing, you're just roaming around like Obi-Wan in the Death Star.
Yeah.
So I'll give you like the whole map. Why not?
Hmm.
Most of what's going on with the ants, you don't really understand what they're doing or why. But I'll tell you this much. Over here on the left where it says 6, that's where you find the humans.
Okay.
They are not chained exactly, but that's the purpose. They appear to be held in place by like thick rope-like webbing,
Ah,
Which
okay.
can probably be cut.
and there is also in the far north. If you see where the 6 is, right?
Yep.
If you go north of that, there's like that area that's. Can you see my
Kind of a
pointer?
ledge.
Hmm?
It's kind of a ledge.
It's actually a pit.
Oh, okay. Sorry. It
It's
goes
actually a
down.
pit with like what look like maggots in it
Ew.
Oh,
and chopped up pieces of animal matter. So putting two and two together, you're thinking you're looking at baby food.
yeah.
Okay, so there you go. And if you continue, well, do you go past them? There's like stairs that go up to a ledge at the southern end. Like, question, can you see my pointer?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
where there's 6, just down and to the left of it, there's steps. You see those?
I see
Yes.
them.
Okay, those go up.
Right.
That is a ledge area that has 2 rocks on it, right?
Yep.
In that area, there is a great big fat ant person
The queen.
who is laying football-sized eggs.
Okay then.
Yeah, so there you go.
Brendan, it is my intention to cut loose all of the humans to try and keep them as quiet as possible and try and sneak out of here with all of them.
Okay, in
I might
area
wanna-
6, there
Yeah.
are. Hang on, I'm gonna roll some dice. How many people are there? Or ant people? Come on, any minute now. Do, 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 do. Meanwhile, everybody outside is waiting for John or Elaine to come back. Oh, come on! What is taking so long? Okay. Okay,
Might
that's
wanna
just stupid. That's not. Okay,
create
6. We'll say 6.
fine.
There are 6 ant creatures which are tending to both the football-sized eggs and the big fat ant creature and the maggot-looking creatures that are in the pit to the north of the 6 in that pit. So there's like half a dozen ant creatures. They're all kind of roaming around and doing stuff. So they would definitely notice if you start cutting people loose.
Okay.
Just letting you know. I mean, you could probably get a couple loose before they realize it and do anything. But they are 4 humans. There's 2 Indians, the Roman guy, and
Yep.
Emmet.
Okay. Then I will turn around and shuffle back out to where my friends are waiting and tell them what's happening. Are there a whole lot of ants between the humans and the exit?
I was gonna say is 4 downhill. Is from 6 to 4 a slide downhill?
Okay. From 6 to 4 is a slide downhill.
Okay.
When John went into the tunnel, you go uphill until you go past the bridge and then cut right and then kind of make a U-turn and then cross the bridge. At that point, everything stays kind of level. And then as you get close to 6 and there's the tunnel going toward 4, it is extremely steep there.
Right. So
Essentially,
4
you
can't go up,
from
but
the
you
from the
can
looks of it, Lloyd,
Yeah.
that's like a trash chute. They just dump stuff there and it goes into the water and flows away.
Okay, good. Andy,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I say we make our way up there, kick everybody's ass in that particular room, and then try and get out of here before they can get reinforcements in.
Yeah.
Trick is getting past all the sentries to get to that particular room without crawling up number 4, the slide.
I
Questions to
think
you, Lloyd.
yeah.
How thoroughly did you explore everything other than where you went to get to Emmet? Did you like look around 7 real thoroughly, around 8, around 3?
No, if anything, I just glanced in. I was there long enough to find out if there were people there.
There are some ant people in the area of 7. They
Mhm.
seem to be, well, relaxing, for lack of a better word.
Right.
And those big watery areas are like reservoirs, and there are stones around them that keep them several feet higher than the level of the little creek that trickles through the rocks and then flows out.
Okay.
So you've got like a reservoir of water there. Actually, 2 of them if you look closely, but at least one you would notice. And did you go in 8? Well, I already told you about like the bugs they were domesticating, so I'll give you at least
Right.
8. That's where they had a whole bunch of bugs they were domesticating, and they milked them for pudding and other things. I think it's enough. There you go.
Okay. So my suggestion to the rest of the team is get everybody inside, sneak up to the garbage chute, climb up that way, get everybody into room 6, grab all the humans, fight off all the bugs, and then haul ass out of here as quickly as we can.
So basically, we go in through the water. You look like a bug and drop us a rope down the garbage chute.
Well, can somebody walk up the garbage chute, Brandon?
You've what's your do you have athletics?
I do.
I do.
You could probably make it up. You're not certain everyone else could.
I have
Oh.
athletics as
I
well.
have athletics.
We're an athletic bunch.
It's true you are.
But it probably is not 100%. If you
Yeah,
can
it's
somehow
iffy.
rope
It's
it.
iffy, and it would not be quiet because
Okay.
rocks would be shifting and sliding and
I
splashing.
can drop a rope down then.
Okay. Now, on the other side, on the other hand, that creek going down is it itself makes a fair amount of noise. It's a very splashy,
Yeah,
squeaky
I
thing.
assume
So
we
there's a
that.
lot
How
of
deep is
splashy
it?
sound covering small amounts of noise.
How deep is it?
Would you walk through it to see Lloyd?
Yes.
Oh, hip deep at its deepest.
Okay. All right. Then, technically speaking, would I think it'd be better to try and get up the garbage chute, or would we stand a better chance of making it to the bridge and climbing up that way?
Too much chance.
Well, how
You
many
would be
sentries
less
do you
likely
want?
to encounter other ant people if you went up the tunnel by 4.
Okay.
It's
That
clearly
remains
easier to walk the long way around.
right.
But when you were doing it, you ran into 3 or 4 different ant people on your way there who seemed
Okay.
suspicious of you but didn't stop you.
Then once again, I will suggest we make our way up the garbage chute as quietly and slowly. And I can meet everybody up in room 6 because I can look like a bug.
Fun fact, as a bug, you can't speak English. You have to like change back to a person to actually tell them anything
All right.
because your
That
mouth
makes
parts just
Now,
are not even
sense.
remotely correct for
Yeah.
actual human language.
Did you run into any bugs coming in and out of 6 and across the bridge of 5?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, then that's the best plan. I was
Um,
coming up with a plan B, but
I could also try that old, I'm not the Jedi you're looking for.
All right. Well, let's see what happens.
I'm guessing that if I could do that other thing with that thug of Edgelords, I could probably do it with bugs too. I don't know.
way to
All
find
right. All right, Brandon. So I'll sneak in just ahead of everybody and keep an eye on things in room 6 while they sneak in via the garbage chute.
Okay, make another. Let me go check back what it was again. Deception, presence plus power roll. And I will roll this time against the new ant people who you pass on your way to the egg chamber, which is kind of important to them. So
I rolled
Yeah, I
a
wonder
10.
why.
you rolled what?
10.
I rolled a 9. You are doing swell. Again, you get challenged a couple of times. You walk past them and they don't follow up on it. Because clearly, if you didn't belong here, you would have submitted to the challenge. So, it's ant logic. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So you get to 6 again. There are, let's see, how many people here now are ant people total? 3. Okay. Half of the ant people who were here earlier are not here now. You don't know where they went because you were gone. They're doing
Okay.
important ant business.
Thinking ant thoughts and doing ant deeds.
There you go.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, everybody else is doing what?
Garbage chute.
Yeah,
Sneak up
Yes.
to 4?
sneak up to the garbage chute.
Well, this is what you're going to need to do. Is that what I wanted? No, hang on. Duplicate tab. Because I want to have this open also.
What is it? What is it?
I think it's stealth. Is it? Yes. Okay. Hey, kitty. Oh, my cat was underneath. Oh, she's over there now. She was underneath the blanket on the bed behind me, like since 2 o'clock today. And then she went downstairs when I went to go get my drink stuffs and ate some food, and then followed me back upstairs. And now she's over there on the top of the dresser. Oh, speaking of which, tonight's game is brought to you by E&J VSOP Brandy.
Oh,
It's the brandy that is not the cheapest brandy. But it's not that expensive brandy either. It's, I'm mixing it with cola. Oh! So, so no need to buy the most expensive brandy, but still, you don't want to buy the cheapest because that's just gross. Okay, agility, stealth. Everybody. If you don't have stealth, you roll 1 dice. And I'm going to roll just gestalt for all of
Okay.
the ants who could possibly be noticing you as you creep in on little human feet.
I don't suppose I can pull the nobody's gonna notice me. I'm not here. Type of mental.
If
What if I
someone
meant to get stealth instead of
if someone confronts you, you can try that. But
No,
for now,
okay.
just make a
Just stealth.
agility stealth roll. What's that, Kieran?
I said I'm looking at my character sheet going, why do I have finesse instead of stealth?
Well, finesse is pickpocketing, sleight of hand, lockpicking.
That doesn't seem well. No, that doesn't seem
That
right.
3-card Monty game.
Yeah. Okay, I probably meant to put stealth instead of finesse.
You can change it. I don't mind.
Okay.
Oh man, Leslie, I meant to.
okay, they're hearing me anyway.
Huh?
They're hearing me anyway.
What'd you roll?
5.
Total?
Yeah.
How is it even possible? That's just crazy.
2 plus my 3 is 5.
Well, okay.
You ask for skills I don't have, you get rolls that aren't good.
All right.
Where did it go?
Okay. Leslie, this is something I meant to bring up with you at another time
Yes.
because I meant to address this on your character sheet before this moment and forgot about it. It's been a busy week. So, rather than the list of powers you've got, the very last one that says telepathy,
Yeah.
what I would recommend to you
Mhm.
is replace that with ultra power, parentheses, Jedi mind tricks.
Okay.
So
It's what I had to go for to get my mad inventor can build anything.
essentially, yeah. It doesn't mean literally anything. I mean, the telekinesis is not a mind trick. That's moving shit around with your. That's actually
Okay.
physically moving things. But as far as like influencing people's emotions or things, yeah. So
Okay.
instead of telepathy, Jedi mind trick, ultra
Okay.
power. Now, among other things, that would let you do, for example, a power called mass hysteria, which has a prerequisite of emotion control, which you have outside of the ultra power.
Mhm.
That lets you do emotions over an area. And
Okay.
similarly for Mind Blast or Mind Control, you have all those already. So in your Jedi Mind Trick, you could do more than one person.
Okay.
So does that work for you?
Uh-huh.
Okay, cool. Also, we don't have to worry quite so much of when you try to do something new and it's like, oh, I didn't pick that, or it's not quite what I've already got. So you can just, oh, it's an ultra power. You can just throw it in there. It's not a problem. So where were we?
Overpower is if you're getting 6 powers, overpower is your 6th power.
Okay.
As long as the first 5 are the same theme. Now,
Yeah.
in her case, she's
Yeah.
got Danger Sense and Telekinesis, which don't really fit that. But she bought like 7 powers, so she's got plenty.
Yeah.
Not worrying about it. All right. So everybody rolled. What? I'm sorry. Stealth. So stealth. 5 total. Well, that's just terrible.
Mine was only 6.
I rolled a 9.
Okay. Wow.
Not a
Stealth
super
is not my
forte.
forte either, I don't think.
Wow. I am embarrassed for you.
We're used to talking to the camera. That's the problem.
Yeah, we're cryptid hunters, and we don't expect to find cryptids. We happen to find cryptids. That's weird.
Let's
Hey,
see.
I didn't learn stealth until I got merged with Atalanta. So
Hey, even being merged with a Jedi Knight, I still didn't expect to find cryptids. After how many years?
Oh, but you forget that time off the coast of Madagascar when I found the Kraken.
No, I have never found a cryptid. I've studied them, yes, but I've never found one. And I know about Architeuthis. That's well known in biological circles. So yeah, that's about the extent of my cryptid hunting skills. You run into these big four-armed bug creatures.
Okay, here's what happens. You get up to there. Okay, see the 3?
Yeah.
How there's a cave off to your right?
Mhm.
You get
Stairs.
to round the opening of that cave, which has steps up going into it. Not a lot. It's like maybe 2 or 3 feet from the creek up to the level of that cave. There are large creatures in that cave that notice you. And they look like... Let's show you what they look like. Let's show them what they won, Bob. Where did I put it? Pretty sure I had it. No. Ah, here we go. I need to share something different with you. So not that.
Isn't the same bug creatures, huh?
This.
ugh.
Okay.
Oh no, that's ugly.
Okay, so picture that like the size of like the largest dog that you can think of, like Great Dane size. And that's not including the big
That
jaw
must be their version
spiky
of a
things on the
Doberman
front.
pincer.
So there are 2 of these in that room, that cave number 3. And they don't bark or hiss, they just kind of scramble toward you and clack their big jaws together as they try to kill you and eat you, or, well, one
They're
of those
the
at
bug
least.
version of the Doberman pincer.
There's something.
Okay, I don't know if. Well, actually, I think I had some kind of animal skill, didn't I? Animal empathy.
I wouldn't know.
But I don't know if they'd call that an animal empathy or not. They're not animals; they're bugs.
I think it's no, it's not a plant, therefore it's an animal. So
Okay. Well, we can try the ultra power on them with animal empathy. See if that works. Say, we're friendly. You don't want to eat us.
all right, we can try roll some dice. Let's see.
Okay, what am I rolling?
Hang on. You want to roll manipulation, presence plus power level.
Okay.
And I will roll for the bugs.
Well, manipulation isn't what I'm using per se. I'm using animal empathy and the possibility of my mind control.
Well, that is what you're rolling for, though.
Okay.
So do you have the manipulate? Every roll is a skill roll. Do you have
Okay.
manipulation as a skill?
No, I don't think
Okay,
so.
then you roll one dice, but you add your presence and your power level to that.
Okay, presence and power level. My presence
Ooh, I rolled pretty
not
well.
that great, and my power level is better. Looks like I got a total of 11.
You exactly got what you needed. So
Cool.
they charge toward you, and they appear very intent on doing whatever large bugs do to small bugs. But you you put forward your hand and reach out with your senses or whatever you do and tell them what? What do you tell them?
Just simply say we're friendly. You don't
Yeah,
want to eat
it's
us.
not really.
Go about your business.
It's not really. It's more an empathy thing. It's not so much you talk to them as you express an intention.
Well,
But
that's
yeah,
what I'm
your intention
thinking.
is that yeah, you mean them no harm. You're friends.
About
You're
your
going over
business.
here. They should go over there. Okay, and they stop a few feet away, and they're like big black baseball-sized eyes just kind of gleam in the dark, and they turn around and go back to where they were. They go back to
I
nibbling
kinda
on
did.
some animal
I kind of
carcass.
did what Lloyd did. I looked imperious.
It apparently worked. Okay.
You just got to show these bugs who's boss.
Yep.
That's actually really good because they would have been a very serious threat.
Yeah.
They're they're big bugs.
They're
It
big
would
bugs and they got sharp, pointy things at the ends of
Yeah.
their mouths.
Yeah.
it would have been very noisy.
It would have been very noisy. It's true.
Hmm.
Well, you get up to where that tunnel is on the left, across the creek. So everybody wading across the creek and trying to climb up the tunnel. Is that the deal?
Yep.
That's the plan.
Lloyd, did you go over there and throw a rope down, or you just kind of like hanging out inconspicuously and waiting for them to get up?
You said there's only 3 bugs up there, then I will try and throw a rope down.
All right.
Make it a little easier on them.
That's weird.
Excuse me for a second.
Okay. Craig, we'll get back to you. I imagine this isn't going to last too much longer. Okay, I don't think that's enough.
Yeah, we're pretty much gonna cut them loose,
And then haul ass.
jump down the garbage chute, and then it's downstream.
Wait a moment for Leslie to come back. Craig, since we have a moment of intermission, has anything occurred to you that you would want to ask or find out about while you're hanging out with these thugs in the Bittersweet?
It's possible
One other thing.
land
From time to
could be
time,
inside.
one of the thugs goes upstairs with one of the young or not so young women to a room upstairs, and after, I don't know, half hour or so, it comes back. You notice
Don't worry.
one thing that I think is relevant. When you were at the Red Dog or at the Provisioners, Barthen's,
Yeah.
nobody asked you for money for anything. They were essentially everybody's just doing something needs to be doing, and as long as what you're asking for seems reasonable, it's just the way the town works now.
That's what I was going to ask. What's the means of exchange if this is what's going on, or what's really going on?
Coins, mainly quarters, like American quarters, like American 21st century quarters. And
So I wouldn't have seen one of those before. The 21st century? What years on them? Can I see one?
well, this is the 21st
We
century.
are for
one.
the 21st century. We have
This is
21st century quarters.
Yeah, but
We
you
probably had some in our pockets when we went AWOL.
Like when you sit down to play poker,
Depends on when they were minted, but yeah.
they ask if what do you have to stake, and you actually have some change in your pocket because you do, So you throw out a couple of nickels, a dime, a couple of quarters, and you notice that is what they're playing for. And you take a look at some point while you're playing poker, you pick up a quarter that somebody else has put on the table.
Yeah.
It's Wisconsin, and on the back of the quarter has a picture of a wheel of cheese. So these are not 18th or rather 19th century coins. These are 21st century coins.
What's the oldest one that I see?
Edgelord. He must
I'm
be
sorry,
from our
what?
time.
What's the oldest one that I see? What's the oldest year I see?
1982.
Okay.
It's a nickel.
No, I was curious. You said 21st century.
This is the 21st century. 1982 is 20th century, but
Really?
you see the newest coin. Okay, the newest coin you see is
Yes.
2029.
2029.
Wow.
Interesting. Also, okay.
I wonder if that's where Edgelord is from.
So
Okay. I was thinking I get the lay of the inside of the.
Oh. Okay, well yeah, you can totally get like the lay of the place. One
Yep,
thing is, while they're playing poker, it becomes apparent to you at one point when you bet, you slide some coins across the table, that they are not going by what you would consider the actual value of the coins. They consider a nickel worth more than a dime, and a quarter worth more than a nickel.
Of
Well,
course,
the
because
nickel
of
and the
size.
dime, those are the
Yeah.
sticklers, because
Makes,
nickels are.
actually makes logical sense. They don't know any different.
That is correct.
Hmm.
So
I don't think Nichols actually says on what it's worth, does it?
It does on the on
No,
one.
dimes don't. It just says worth a dime. It doesn't actually say 10 cents.
That's true.
It does.
Well, I won't correct them of that because I'll probably get my ass beat.
Might be the.
maybe it does, maybe it
probably
doesn't.
is the size,
But
because it probably has to do with the
for
silver
purposes
content.
for purposes of the poker
Yep.
game you're in,
No problem. What I'm saying is I won't correct them. I'll try to learn and go with it.
for purposes of the poker game you're in, a nickel is worth 5 dimes and a quarter is worth 5 nickels. That's
The amount of silver.
oh, there's no silver in any of this.
It does just say $1.
There's
Well,
not a
yeah,
gram of
that's
silver
silver
on
in
the
that
table.
stuff.
There's
Oh,
no
I know,
silver.
but they're probably looking at the color and looking at the size and going, silver. This is a bigger piece of silver than that is.
Yeah, the nickel does say 5 cents, but the dime just says $1.
Yes, thought so. So
No, they know
I
what a
will gamble,
dime
but I'm not
is.
gonna-
It's just that
I'm not gonna
these
try
aren't
to
the
be
dimes
like.
they're used to.
So I will gamble, but I'm not going to try to be like Anna Palmerston and be stupid about it.
Right. And
Win some, lose some.
it's kind of funny because if you're there for more than a couple of hours, at some point someone will run out of coins because there aren't that many coins to go around, and one guy will just like split up half his coins and slide it to the other guy. It becomes apparent that they don't actually care.
Oh,
It's
okay.
just basically just something to pass the time.
Okay.
So
They still use these as means of payment for services rendered. Interesting.
from time to time they give them one to one of the ladies when they go upstairs. Yeah.
Dang.
They take 2 quarters. So when a guy wins a lot of games, a lot of hands, and he has several quarters, that guy takes a break from the table, goes upstairs. So it doesn't make a great deal of sense, but that's what's
Okay.
going on. So I'm just like,
Could I be crude for just one moment?
if you really have to.
They're not 2-bit whores.
Oh, goodness.
Oh. That's bad. That's all that is.
Okay.
So coins are changing hands, but it's more like just for show. So anyway, meanwhile, back to the caves. Oh, John Erlang as ant person tosses the rope down. You guys climb the rope up. You've got a rope to go up by. No need to roll a dice for that. You've all got athletics. It's not a big deal. So you get up to. I'll show you the map again. Hang on. Where are you? There you are. So you get up to where the tunnel from 4 meets the tunnel 2-6,
Mhm.
and there's an ant person standing there, and you kind of hope it's John.
If he's holding the rope, I have to assume.
He's holding the rope.
I have to assume.
Now what, Lloyd?
Position myself between the ants and our heroes and make sure that they'll get up into the cave. And then I'm just going to stride forward confidently and start cutting people loose.
Let's see if
Okay.
any ants notice you before you are entirely in position and ready to start rescuing peoples. Oh, wow. No ants interrupt you. In fact,
Wow.
Very good.
miraculously,
Too busy being focused on the queen.
there actually was a fair amount of traffic to and forth on your to and fro on your first 2 visits here. But now that someone's actually invading, where did they all go? I don't know. They're gone. There's still 3 over in the 6 area, taking, wiping filth off of grubs and carrying new grubs up from the Queen's Ledge down to that pit.
Mhm.
And but in general, it's about the least active you've seen it so far.
Good.
You get over to Area 6, and who do you start cutting free first?
Emmet.
You said
Emmet
you came for.
starts cursing at you in words that would peel paint. he
Okay.
he is defiant to the last. I'll
Smack
show you a picture of Emmet.
smack him in the face a couple of times and point to where all of my friends are.
I'm actually pretty pleased with Emmet. So let me find you. Let me show you him. Open. Are you gonna open? Or you just? Oh, there it is. Okay. Here is Emmet. Granted, he's not quite this clean. He's kind of grimy,
Probably old beat up.
and he's kind of beat up. That's Emmet.
Oh, he's not a kid then. He's an older man.
No. Emmet's not young. He's probably about
Okay.
40 or so.
All right.
So,
I was.
but yeah,
He's not
you
well
step toward him, and he begins cussing you out in words that would make a sailor blush. And
Hey, we've got a sailor. Let's find out.
so you cuff him on the head a couple times and point with one of your 4 ant claws back at the humans who are coming to rescue him.
Yes.
Well, that's something else. Hang on, let's see if I even comprehend what's going on. Oh, it's kind of dimly lit because of the lightning bugs that are hanging from the ceiling. They're not super bright, but you can see. Waiting. There we go.
Yeah, by the way, I'm ready to take a shot if anybody starts causing trouble.
Oh, they will. Give me a minute.
I'll leave it to you to start a drinking game in the middle of a fight.
Look into that, Captain. That guy knows some words you don't know.
All right. Well, he did not roll great, but even in this dim lighting and even with that low roll, he can tell that the humans who are following you are not unconscious or shackled with
Well, the sheriff is with us too.
webs. Oh, that's right. Sheriff's among them. I forgot about her too. Yeah. So, in addition to you guys, is Sheriff Hood. So he seems puzzled and is having trouble grasping the idea that the ant in front of him is pointing at people, and that's an okay thing. So he's not cussing you out anymore, and he's not fighting you. Not that he really can. He's like webbed like to a rock, but he's struggling to comprehend what's going on.
Okay.
Meanwhile, let's see. I'm just going to my right to left because John Erlang's kind of setting the pace here, so you're on the right. So I'll start there and I'll go you, Michael, Anne, and then Captain Harrows. And where will I put the 3 ants who are taking care of the bugs? John, Lloyd, roll 2d6 plus your reason.
12.
Outstanding. All right. The 3 ants in the room will go after Captain Harrows. So You start cutting Emmet loose.
Yep.
Cut, cut. Okay, it takes you like your whole action, but because the weird web rope stuff he's tied with is it's actually really tough. But you cut it loose. It's like a bungee cord. It's like cutting through a bungee cord
Okay.
that's been reinforced, I guess. Okay.
You're sticking with it.
So, Michael,
Okay, it's worked before. I'm assuming that I did bring my new staff with me, the one I made for myself.
absolutely.
If Yeah, well, we're gonna start trying to experiment with this new Jedi power I seem to have, and we're gonna start twirling that staff and attack one of the bugs that's attacking the captain. And I'll add a little bit of telekinesis to it too. See if I can whack one of them bugs against the wall.
They are just barely aware you've entered the room. They're all
Oh, they weren't
occupied on their
attacking
own
him?
tasks. Like
No,
once,
they're going after me, not going after me.
Okay.
okay, they take their action after Captain Harrows does. I'm sorry I wasn't
Okay.
clear about that.
Hmm.
They are preoccupied with their own activities. They're either cleaning a grub, or they're carrying a football-sized wormy sort of larva thing, or something of that
Well, in which
nature.
case, then I'll move to cut somebody else free. If
Alrighty,
they're not if they're physically attacking, then
you
that's what
got
I'll
two.
do.
Well, not yet.
Hmm.
But you got two
But I'm
Indians
gonna keep my eye on them.
and one Roman. Who you gonna cut
I
loose?
think we'll go for. I'm a little bit better with the idea of cutting the Indians free, even though I know that technically at this time they're considered savages. They're still a little bit my style than the Roman is. One of these.
Okay.
But
Again,
I'm
it takes you
keeping.
like your whole action, but you cut
But I
loose
am keeping a
one of
side
the
eye.
Aztecs.
I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna turn my back to the bugs at any time. I'm gonna keep one eye on the bugs, the other eye on my job.
Okay. And what are you doing?
Um. Hmm. Oh, what the heck? I'll go help. Sneak in and help. Better to be there than be at it in there, so I can always, you know.
Switch. So what is your plan?
I'm gonna go cut the whoever's still tied up.
One Indian or they're Aztecs.
There's an Indian
Uh,
and a
one Aztec, one Roman.
Eh, whichever one I reach first.
Pick one.
Okay, fine. I'll pick the other Aztec because
Okay.
they're
Hey.
probably right next to each other.
Okay. To be clear, John Erlang looks like a Chinese American. Isco looks Filipino. You guys look European, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
I look like an Irishman, complete with the red hair.
Okay. Anne, what's Anne look like?
And yeah, that looks European.
Like
Ish.
northern, southern? Is she swarthy? Is she Greek
No,
looking?
she's American. She's
Yeah, that
American.
doesn't narrow it down at all. And
Okay, fine.
it's
You know what?
the only reason here's
She looks
it's
like
important. I'll tell you why I ask. The Aztecs
Yeah.
have interacted with several different groups of people who are here in this world, and they have expectations based on what you look like.
Ah.
So if you look more like them, for example, if Isco were here, they would react to you differently than they would to, say, Michael.
Well, if they shy away from me when I move towards them, then I'll move towards the Roman first. Then, but yeah, I look like they'll do Laura Croft.
Fair
I
enough.
sent a picture.
Yeah, I really need to update you guys' pictures. Okay, so
Well,
fine, like
I haven't
brunette,
sent one.
light
Brandon?
skin brunette.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
right. Which is
Brendan,
a
Josh from Destination Truth with red hair is what I'm thinking.
alrighty. All right.
Mhm.
They seem hostile both to Michael and to Anne when you come forward, but they don't shy away from you. They seem defiant in the same way that Emmett seemed defiant, but for slightly different reasons. But you cut them loose, and they seem bewildered. Like, why would you have done that? Like, wait, what? And you cut them loose and show no intention of stabbing them, and they just like look at each other like,
And point the way out.
what? Is this a trick? They don't say that. They're speaking Nahuatl to each other, but
We can't just point the way out because if they run by those big clump
Yeah.
bugs, they'll get killed.
Very true.
Um, we need to indicate to them they got to get out quietly somehow.
Make a diplomacy roll, and
That
I'll
I
make
don't
a
have.
reason.
I do.
I'll make a
Okay.
reason roll to see if I understand what the hell you're trying to do.
I'm also I also have linguist.
Oh, you're a linguist. Awesome.
And I
They
probably
talk
would-
to each other, and you pick up 3 words out of 4. It's a dialect of what you learned as Nahuatl, which is essentially Mayan.
Yeah.
So it's like very similar, and you can make it what they're saying. They're saying like, is this a trick? What are they doing? Why are they here? Why'd they cut us loose? I don't know. Be on your guard. It could be a trick, but I'm still gonna leave if they cut us loose. It's like so they're not hostile exactly, but they're suspicious of you, and you can hear them talking. So you can talk back to them.
Yeah, I'll talk back to them. I'll try to say, keep your voice down. We're trying to get you out of here.
You could not have surprised them more if you had simply turned into an ant. So they're like, you speak the tongue. You speak the tongue of the people.
Yes.
Okay.
Tell them.
All right then. You're clearly a friend. What do you want us to do?
Keep your voice down. We'll get until we're ready to get out of here.
We will do that. Who's left? Captain Harrows and the Roman, who's sitting there stoically. Literally, he is a stoic.
He's a Roman.
Well, I am keeping my rifle trained on the bugs just in case they notice what's going on. I can pop one off for
They,
sure.
they are, in fact, noticing what's going on, and in a moment, they'll be putting down their grubs and egg sacs and coming to attack you. Just letting you know that is clearly what they are about to do, but they
Yes.
are not doing it yet.
Okay, so for mechanics reasons, should we just preempt them?
Well, that's up to
Well,
you.
that's us
You
not being
certainly can.
quiet.
Like as he's going to put down his grub, I will. Go ahead.
Tell Captain Harrows, you release the Roman, I'll take care of them. I'm quieter than you are.
Oh, you turn back to a person?
Oh, I'll have to, yeah. I'll turn into Erlang Shaw.
Ah!
Yes. Okay. Yeah. It's like, okay. Now they're more confused.
Let me see how badly I screwed up shape-shifting. Hey, shape-shifting is a free action, so you can turn it off like that. So,
Oh, great. And,
isn't that awesome?
I'll turn it off, draw my sword, and say, you take care. You release the Roman, I'll take care of them. I'm quieter.
He turns from an ant into
But you're
him
louder in
wearing
other ways.
glowing golden armor.
Yeah, you're louder in other ways.
Bad but true.
You can't read by him. He doesn't shut off quite that much light, but he's clearly the center of attention in the room.
Yeah, you keep them busy. We'll get the people out of here. Good plan.
Okay, in that case, I'll go ahead and sling my rifle on my shoulder and go cut the Roman loose while chanting "work, work, work" in Latin.
Which I'll look at you and because I understand.
I think
You
most of us understand.
Smart Alex.
Wait, does Captain Harrows have linguist, or you just know Latin?
Yes, he has linguist.
Oh, wow,
And
all right.
I
Now,
know
to be
Latin.
clear, you can know whatever languages your character would normally know. That you don't need to pay points for. But to be able to adapt to new languages, that's a linguist thing.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
I have Latin listed as one of the things I know, probably because I am a botanist, cryptozoologist, and you
Yeah.
need to know some Latin for all those fancy
Yeah, you
names.
do.
I was gonna say, if you know Spanish and French, you pretty much know Latin. It's
Yeah.
a matter of if you know good Latin or not.
Ooh, what a
No,
face.
my Latin is not good.
Did
It's
you
the
hit it
Latin
really fast?
associated with biological things.
Oh, Jesus.
Did Brandon get smacked by the brandy?
Poured the brandy, got sidetracked, forgot to
Tried the
fill it
Coke.
up with Coke and ice.
Oh,
Went to drink it. Oh, smooth. Yeah. So
Mid-range brandy is kind of like getting hit with a baseball bat.
I just took a
Yeah.
chugged back a big old slug of brandy, and no, I like brandy. I like sipping brandy.
That's bad brandy.
Brandy's not really a chugging drink. No,
Yeah.
not so much.
Not,
So
not when you're expecting soda.
not when you're expecting,
Coke.
30% or 20% brandy and 80% Coke. No, it's just, no. Okay, well,
Well,
Captain Harrows cuts loose the Roman. He stands up and he says in Latin, he says, "I thank you. Do you have any weapons that I could use, if you please?" He's extremely formal and polite.
Roman.
I assume I've got a sheath knife. Just
Great.
Just standard knife that you always carry around on a fishing boat.
Is that what you cut him loose with,
Yeah.
or a different knife? You can have more than one knife. I don't care.
That knife. Yeah, no, the knife that I cut him loose with, I'll flip it around and offer it to him.
He takes it and he says, "I thank you most humbly," and he starts walking toward one of the ant things with the clear intention of killing it.
It's just the ones in this room, right?
What?
Yeah, I tell him, do it quietly. There are many more.
I understand, he says in Latin. All right, so we are. Oh wait, does he go? Let's see if he goes before or after the ants, because it'd be so unfair if the ants went very last after this guy. So that's him, and let's see. Oh, come on. Oh my goodness, excuse me, sorry. Man, straight brandy just. Sorry. Okay, here we go.
It's only
So-
funny because I've done it before.
Oh, awesome. Well, not for him, because you cut him loose and he's kind of dehydrated and he's had better days. But he has a knife and he's walking toward the ants. However, he rolled a 5, the ants rolled 10. So the ants put down their various burdens, and we're gonna kill you now because we just can't have you mammals doing this. This is just this is not done. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll go Emmet, Roman, Aztec.
Wait, 1, 2,
Oh,
3,
plus Captain Hood, Sheriff Hood. I keep forgetting Sheriff Hood. All right, so D9, and there are 3 of them, so we'll see who gets stacked. Number 8, one of the Aztecs. Number 3, which is Anne, and number 4, which is Captain Harrows. So here we go. You guys each need to make close combat brawn defense rolls. If you have a power like damage resistance, that adds your power level to that roll. If you have armor, the rating of the armor gets added to that roll. I don't think any of you guys have armor. The Roman guy does.
Well, at least I got a 7 that time.
I rolled a 10.
Is
Okay.
there any way one can get a weapon to the Aztec? Because I don't think he's armed.
I've got two blades and a gun. I can share. I'll give the amber blade to the guy I was cutting loose.
Okay, that's cool. It doesn't help him against the attack, but it'll help him stab them back in a moment.
Yes.
So, where do we go? We had who? It was Anne, Captain Harrows, and who was the third person?
Random Aztec.
Oh, one of the
Yeah,
Aztecs.
the
That's
Aztec.
good. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm just gonna go right to left. So Anne, you rolled what?
I rolled a 10.
Okay, which is not enough. One of the ants come toward you and clutch at you with their claws, and slash at you with their pointy ant-like fingers, and you lose 1 endurance. Next up is Captain Harrows. What you got?
7.
That is terrible.
It's the best I got.
The Susan's printing something. I wonder what it is. Interesting. It's really green. Wonder if I'm out of magenta ink. So, yeah. Another ant creature comes at you and basically overwhelms you. You lose 2 endurance to that. There's like a lot of clawing and a lot of at you. Angry click clack noise. And it's so 2. What is that? Oh, here's a thing. Anybody here have the gift Tenacious?
No.
I believe John Erlang does.
Nope.
No? No, not Tenacious. What is it?
Indefatigable.
Indefatigable. Yeah. Anybody other than John Erlang have Indefatigable?
Nope.
Okay. When you have exactly 1 endurance left, you get a penalty die on all of your rolls.
Mm.
So if you had 2 and you have 1 endurance, it's now a 1. If you had 1 and you have 1 endurance, it's now none. And if you have no dice, you don't roll. And well, I know that does make sense because if they attack you, I need some way of measuring the number. All right, you just don't roll dice. I have to re-examine that. But for now, just
Okay,
0
so
dice means 0 dice.
We've got to increase our endurances, all of us.
Endurance. Let me make sure I got this right. At 1 endurance, you lose a die.
Yes.
At 0 endurance, you lose another die.
No, 0 endurance, you're not in the fight
Unconscious.
anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not necessarily
I know.
unconscious, but you're not in the you're out of the fight.
Okay. Okay.
All right, where was I? Oh, on Captain Heroes. Then actually the Aztec guy's doing great because I rolled a 6 on the last ant person. So the last ant person is like attacking the ant guy, and he's like, that's the one that Anne gave the resin sword to, and he's like blocking and spinning and blocking and and kicking. He's doing like all kind of Krav Maga kind of stuff. Yeah, does that seem really green to you? I'm thinking I might be out of red ink.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to check that. Are you going to bed now? Oh, okay. Anyway, all right. So Aztec guy, he's fine. So then, Sheriff Hood, Emmet, the Roman, and the 2 Aztec people all get to go. So let's see, Emmet.
Well, I'll give the
Sheriff
Aztec
Emmet.
guy I'll give my Aztec guy my little knife.
All right, you
Yeah.
give all the Aztecs a knife, and Sheriff Rose has a shotgun. She will look at John Erlang, since he's a human being again, and she looks at her shotgun. She's like, "So, are we being quiet? Because
Yes.
this is not quiet."
Cover that hall.
She aims at the hull and is ready to shoot anybody who comes in it, but she doesn't shoot anybody.
Okay.
So we've got okay. Emmett picks up a rock and throws it at an ant person, and they duck. A Roman guy stabs an ant person, and it's a significant wound, but they're not out of the fight. Oh wait, they're not named. Okay,
Anthony?
thugs who don't have names. If you hit them, they go down.
Okay.
So you are in literally an ant nest, which is full of ants, which are essentially thugs. So if you hit them, they go down. So Roman guy stabs one of the ant people, it goes down. So Aztec number 1 stabs an ant, it goes down. And I got one more Aztec. Well, that was actually pretty easy. There's only 3 ant people here.
I always thought it was funny in the Morrow Project game. They had a quick kill system for NPCs like this. It was you roll a d6, and the NPC either gets 2 actions and then dies, or he gets 1 action and then he dies, or he just dies.
Okay. Roman guy takes out an ant. Aztec guy takes out an ant. Second Aztec guy, like, stabs. It's the one who has a knife and stabs one of the ant people, but ant people just like bats it away. And so there's one ant person here still up and about. Fun fact: ants not really designed for shouting. Not not really something they can do.
Don't have
So
the face.
Oh, too
yeah.
bad.
So we start all over. John Erlang, you have one ant person. Oh,
And the queen.
and the queen, who you don't need to roll for this because a big, heavy, fat, essentially, ant creature is crawling toward the edge and clicking very loudly at you. But you know what it's saying.
That'd be the queen.
Yes. It
Leap
does
forward
not.
and
It does not detach from its abdomen and come and fight you like aliens.
okay, good. I want to put the power
Just
load.
letting you know. So what do you do?
Leap forward and kill the queen.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's harsh. Okay.
Well, I figure she's summoning reinforcements. So let's
Yes,
There's
just
a
you
real-
can.
There is a real pungent smell coming off the queen. Come to think
Yes,
of it.
yes, that's yeah.
All right. Close combat plus whatever it is you're doing.
draw
Brawn.
Lady Ash wand and kill her.
Brawn plus whatever it is you're doing.
All right.
Is this strike?
Yes.
Okay, then you add your power level to it.
All right. 16.
Oh my goodness.
I'm kind of a one-trick pony, but it's a really cool trick.
It's a good trick. Okay, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay. You leap up and stab or slash or whatever it is you choose to do
Slash.
to the ant queen. The ant queen is not taken out, but is grievously injured. Grievously. There's like a crack in the carapace, and inner ant juices are like glucking,
Ugh.
dripping down. It's really it's quite
And
unpleasant.
I will turn to everybody and say it's time to leave now.
Michael, what do you do? There's the ant queen that John Erling's fighting. There's another ant caretaker that is currently facing off against an Aztec.
Oh, well, he's not paying much attention to me, so I think I'll come up from behind him and go whack with my staff and knock him against a wall. Get him out of the way and then say, let's get out of here.
All right. Staff, I think
And
it's...
I do have hand to hand,
Okay,
so close combat.
so it'd be your brawn plus... I think staff is +1, I think. Staff, yeah, +1. Yeah,
So
brawn +1 for the staff,
and two
plus
dice, right?
2d6.
Okay, so we are at 12.
Oh, whack! You crack the ant across the back of its thorax. It just goes down.
Mhm.
So, Ant Queen facing off against John Erlang. You guys, a
Are starting to
Roman.
leave.
Yeah. All right. Great.
In fact, I'll gesture to the Aztec to the chute.
So, Anne, Captain Harrows, you guys leaving? What are you doing?
Nope, we're all leaving. Yeah, I'll even tell the Aztecs that that it's time to leave.
They nod to you. Clearly, you know what you're doing. And oh, here's something weird. You get a vibe in Tranquility that because you're a woman, there's things they don't expect of you, and it's not mean spirited. It's just the way things are. These guys, you tell them we're leaving, they're like, yes, ma'am. They're perfectly okay with taking your orders. So that's a little different. Uh, for whatever that's worth. So let me see how far you guys get before people.
One of us better go first, just in case we have to deal with the.
So you're going down the
guard dog.
tunnel to 4 to the river. What's your plan
Yeah.
once you get there?
I'll go first.
Hit the water and and head downstream.
Well, let me go first so I can keep an eye on those bugs.
Anybody who can shapeshift into a boat, now's the time.
I'll take the rear because I'm the fastest and I can always catch up or pass you guys.
Fair enough. Well, I'll just make long story short. By the time by the time Anne gets to the water, the ant creatures have realized what's going on and are coming out in force to, I don't know, stop you, kill you, whatever it is that they want
Or
to
I
do.
would think
It's
they'd
not,
go to defend the queen.
well, it's not in your best interest for them to succeed, and they are
No,
coming toward
we're getting
you.
out of here.
However, you get away
Mhm.
because their primary goal is again protecting the queen. Killing you is kind of like a secondary thing, and once you're in the river and flowing away, their interest in pursuing is minimal. And it would so essentially they circle the wagons, the ant wagons, as it were, and you guys get away. And after a bit, you can crawl out of the stream and do what? You're I don't know. Let's say you walk over to where the cart was with the cantaloupes or the peaches in it.
Yeah, let's head back there and
Yeah.
get
Grab that and go home.
yeah.
Well, I'm sure the Aztecs want to go their own way. I don't know about the Roman soldier. I don't know where he came from.
Rome,
I'm
actually. So
well. I'm going to ask, but I mean, he must have did he arrive here recently, or I'm going to ask him in Latin. How long have you been here?
he's not certain because the
Mm.
days are not normal here.
Yeah. Okay.
Ask, ask him if
Are
he's
you have a strange accent? Are you from Gaul?
Let's just say yes.
Britannia.
Because I'm
yeah.
all is Celtic, so yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Hmm.
Why don't you
He
come back with
he's
us?
he spent a lot of time in northern Africa, which is not
Mhm.
what he says, but that's what he means. Like the campaigns
Okay.
of Scipio is something he says. So
Okay.
he has worked with men who were on campaigns in Gaul. So
Well, right now we're here, and why don't you come back with us? I mean, you'll find more people of your like there.
you gave him a who gave him the knife? You gave him the knife?
I
I
did.
gave with the Aztecs the knife.
You did.
I
Oh,
gave him.
once the fight's all over, he gives you your knife back.
Oh, I thank him and say I hope that it served well.
It did what it was designed to do. Thank you. So you have a settlement nearby.
Yes.
I was separated from
Uh,
my I was separated from my century during a strange r- rain shower,
Um,
and found myself here, and I've been here for several days, at least, possibly more.
you're
And
not you're not anywhere near home anymore, and it's not likely you're going to find the rest of your people.
well, I won't guess about that. What I do know is that I need food and shelter, and if you have a settlement nearby, and you're willing for me to accompany you, that's what I would like to do.
Yes, then they'll welcome you.
Yeah, he basically looks like Russell Crowe, so for lack of anything better. He's not a young guy.
I
He's like
assume
probably 30s
I
or
assume
40s.
the Aztecs are going to go their own way because they've
Yeah.
got powerful
Oh,
people.
well, if you're done with him, I was going to switch over to the Aztecs,
Yeah.
who
Okay.
approach Anne and say, "We're in your debt, but we have to leave. We have to go back to the great city and tell what has happened here. May we know your name?"
Yeah. Anna.
Anna. And they tell you their names, which are, some Aztec names. I'm not going to make them up. All right. If we see you again, we will fight with you as allies.
Yes.
May
Tuli.
and they name some complicated Aztec deity. May blah, 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 smile on your path and bring you great glory.
Likewise.
They do not
And,
return the weapons you gave them.
I wouldn't have accepted it anyway.
yeah.
I would have
I
said you
give him.
could keep.
I give him an amber blade. I don't care. They can keep that. Yes. And safe travels.
Okay. They look up at like the sun and like the sky, and they talk to each other like this way. Yeah, I think it's this way. Okay, and they just head off into the bush. Go that way.
Mhm.
Poof, they're gone.
Okay, I make sure to track in my mind the direction that they went.
Okay. East,
because
you
that's
think?
where we're going to find their peoples.
East.
And
All right. Emmett, meanwhile, is talking to Sheriff Hood, and essentially he's berating her for bringing you people to come rescue him because you did not know what you would find. She could have gotten all of you people killed. This was a terrible idea. What were you thinking? You know, this.
I'm going to cuff him on the back of the head and say, "Be grateful, son."
She's just looking at him. She's not. Her expression is like a wall.
Yeah, no, I'm just like like it's just part of my everyday thing. I just walk by and just be grateful, son, and keep walking.
Well, is he going to grab his peaches? I mean, he came all the way here for them. We might as well not leave them here. They look pretty
He
good.
he he takes off his hat and he says, "Thank you for coming to get me. Thank all of you." And he puts his hat back on. And he goes and he takes the two handlebars at the front of his cart and he starts walking back toward town.
I guess we'll walk with him.
Yeah,
Quick question.
I'll even offer to take a spell on the cart if after a while.
Oh, sure, that because it's carrying the peaches. It's like a 5-hour walk. So yeah,
Yeah,
you'd be
Yeah.
grateful for that. Um, before you get very far, theoretically, right over this hill. Wait, what's that?
we were
I
getting
thought.
some echo from Craig.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought I heard something. Okay. Theoretically, right over this hill is the orchard where the peach trees are. Does anybody want to go look at it? Because you
Yeah.
may not come this way again. And
Yeah, I want to see what kind of wood this is because I want to make a compound bow or composite bow, whichever one I would know how to do.
I want to grab a few peaches. Maybe I can make some brandy.
well, he's got a cart full of peaches. That's not really an issue.
I'm using it as an opportunity on the way back to scout the area of what type of wood's available.
The reason I pointed out is because you'd have to actually ask the people here to not leave yet while you go check out the peach orchard. So,
Mhm.
yes,
Well, we're
no,
headed
just
back
tell me
to
what you do. I'm not telling you should. I'm just asking if you do.
um. Well, no, we're all headed back to the peach orchard, right?
No.
No,
No.
you left the peach orchard.
Isn't that where the cart was?
The cart was on its way back from the peach orchard when it got ambushed.
Oh, okay.
We can check it out later. We know where this is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think getting out of here is probably the best idea at the moment.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Okay.
fine.
I just wanted
mark
to know.
it in my mental map.
Great. He takes the cart for the first hour, and at some point when he's clearly starting to flag because he has been trapped in an ant cave for a day and a half, 2 days without any water, Captain Harrow said, "Hey, sailor, want me to spell you there?" And he's like, "Well, if you don't mind, I'd be mighty grateful." And you take over, and basically you guys take turns, and eventually get back to town.
Must have been a rough time. Sure, you don't want a peach?
No. However, I do have a bottle of whiskey in the back there if you wouldn't mind getting it. So
I will get him his bottle of whiskey before I spell him.
there you go. He will pass it around. It's not whiskey per se. It's something that Tandy made, but it's actually pretty decent. So it could use aging, but in general, it's not bad. You get back to town. At this point, it's
It's not Tullamore Dew.
no, it's not.
No, a little more down.
Funny you should mention that. I just happen to have some of that right here.
We'll say late afternoon. So you get back to town. It's late afternoon, and
We've been
the
gone
people,
most of the day.
you've been gone nearly all day, which is you've been gone actually about the amount of time that they would have expected Emmet to be
Well,
gone, just a day
Yeah,
later.
well, we left after dark. And now
Oh,
it's midnight.
that's true.
Late
So
after.
you've been gone overnight, and you rested for a bit, I think, and then did the ant thing. Okay, so yeah, let's say early afternoon. I'd forgotten when you left. So early afternoon, you get back. There's people on the wall, and they call out when they see you come in, and half dozen guys like lift up the crossbars and push the wall open, and you guys come in, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay, I
Okay.
warn the Roman that these people don't speak Latin.
No, I've been among barbarians before. It is not a problem. I have a facility with languages. And he begins speaking French to the people that you see. And if they don't respond, then he tries Arabic.
Ooh. Do you know
That
the
doesn't
language
work
of
either.
Gaul?
I'm going to tell him you you'd be better off with German. You'd be better off with the language of the Vandals. But and then I switch into English. This is the language that everyone speaks here.
Speaks. He got like one word of that.
Language. Speak,
Okay.
yes. I was careful to use some Latin rooted words in that one. Just so that he gets the hint of what's going on.
All right. Yeah, we'll let him stew a bit in his own, romantic juices. So, meanwhile, you guys come back to town. You've been gone for overnight and most of a day. Craig, Isco. Sorry.
Yep.
After a while, things die down at the Bittersweet, and I guess you go back to the McGillicuddy house.
So
Which is
before, yeah, I do. Right. So well, no, I'm gonna
officially
hang there
it's
for a
actually
bit.
the Erlang house now, if I remember correctly.
I've got a
Yeah.
deed too, yeah.
He registered it. Yeah.
So
That reminds me, I'm gonna stop off and register the
Smithy.
blacksmith shop. Yeah.
Everyone is thrilled to see you guys come back. But let me deal with some stuff with Craig for a bit because I gotta catch him up for like a day. Okay,
Mhm.
so
something else I will hint at and try to not outright say, but in a roundabout way, talk about the underdog versus the big guy in a group, a large group of smalls can take out a big, and not anything directly. Just give me some stories, maybe lead them and have some doubts about this Edgelord guy. A seed in the mind for rebellion or some such.
okay. Generally speaking, even though they don't particularly like Edgelord, they do like their current situation. They like that they run the town and don't have to do
Okay.
anything,
Okay.
and that's really the end of that. So,
Yep.
so you don't get a lot of traction on the whole
Okay.
coming up against Edgelord because he's essentially the thing that
Well,
keeps them in
so I would
charge
never
of the
say
town.
that. I'm trying to dance around it.
Okay.
But okay, I get it.
Eventually, you get back to the Erlang house. They have not come back. They are gone. They are all gone.
Okay.
You worried? I would be worried.
uh, they're pretty capable folks, so not really.
Well, morning comes and they still have not come back.
Oh. I'll start asking around. Anybody know anything about yeah,
Oh
the
yeah,
rest of my
all the new
friends?
people you came
Yes.
with. I thought
Yeah.
you guys all went with Sheriff Rose out to go find Emmet.
I see. They must have left without me.
Oh, in fact, you will meet the mayor. Why not? Let me find him because I don't think you're here for this, so may as well let you meet the mayor. Kind of catching you up on stuff. All right. So at some point, you meet the mayor,
Love it.
Mayor Coburn. It's like, oh, hi. So you're with Mr. Erlang and the young lady and the sea captain, right?
Yes, sir. Maybe they're
Uh,
with me. You never
I'm,
know.
I'm Mayor Randall Coburn, and your name is
Let's go. Pleased to meet you, sir.
Isco. Is that Mexican? No offense, I've got no, I don't. We've got several Mexicans here in town, and they're good people.
Hispanic, yes. From a place called the Philippines originally. You may not have heard of it. No, islands in the Pacific.
Is that where that really spicy red sauce comes from?
Is it where Sriracha comes
I
from?
don't think the Philippines were
He's
discovered
thinking of
back then.
Jalisco, but
Wow. Um,
or Tabasco maybe. Hard to say.
not Tabasco.
So the answer would be
That's
no.
Something like that, but no.
Oh, well, it's a pleasure to meet you. Yeah, welcome to Tranquility.
Thank you.
So how are you finding the Erlang house?
It's fantastic. It's a good find.
Well, it's good to have somebody there. The McGillicuddies, they were fine people, and I think they'd like to know that good, upstanding people have taken over the place and cleaned it up and made it a home.
Of course they would.
So yeah, but
Well,
yeah, I thought, well, clearly you didn't, but the rest of your friends, they went off with Sheriff Rose to go find Emmett. He was on a peach run and he didn't come back, and that's not like Emmet. So apparently, you people have really, really bright lanterns, and you're able to go at night. Normally, we would have waited till this morning.
right. Yeah, we call that electricity.
Electricity, really? Well, that's really something. He's heard of electricity. It's like lightning,
Okay.
like Ben Franklin and the kite.
Right. We in your future, we found ways to harness that and carry it around with us.
Hmm. I saw a telegraph. No, what do you call it? Telephone. I saw a telephone that Mr. Erlang has. It's like a little piece of glass and leather, about yay big.
Mm-hmm. You mean
Amazing,
like
amazing.
this?
Hmm?
You mean like this?
Yes. You must come from an age of wonders. Well, a little bit different
Some would
here,
say that,
but
some would not.
well,
Sorry.
I was gonna go get breakfast at the Red Dog. Would you like to join me?
Oh, for sure. Sounds good. Breakfast is
Right.
always good.
You head over there, and Tandy is making breakfast as she apparently does for like 2 dozen people. It's eggs of a sort, um, and sausage of a sort. Yeah.
Sausage. We don't know where it comes. We don't want to know where it comes from.
Well, it's lizard sausage and it's reptile eggs and beer.
Things we don't know. We really don't want to know where they came from.
Oh, and peaches. Normally, but they don't have any peaches, so instead they've got these things that are like they call them lemons, but they're not really lemons. They're some kind of other citrus thing. And she apologizes that they're out of peaches. We're hoping Emmett will come back with some soon. And everybody like nods, bows their head, and hoping that Emmett comes back soon. So,
Sorry, Brian. Whenever you say peaches, I always say that Peaches song. It's kind of going through my head. Something Peaches. You know what I'm talking about?
I
Peaches
don't.
song.
I don't. So, long story short, during this day, while you're waiting for everybody else to come back, either with or without Emmett, what does Isco do?
Might explore the rest of the town.
It's
fine.
about half unoccupied.
Yep.
There are walls all around it. It's basically a rectangle. Oh, I've got a map. Hang on, I'll show you the map.
Here's the song right quick.
Okay.
Hang on. Loading.
This is close enough. I'll show you this.
Did you really never heard this?
I hear nothing.
Well, that's interesting.
I hear absolutely nothing.
Okay, well. I'll put the link in chat.
Okay, I'll look at it later. Okay,
Yeah.
so the town is essentially a rectangle.
Yep.
Where you see Allen Street, that's the main street. Tough Nut Street toward the bottom, and the word Tombstone, there are big wooden barricade type walls. On the right hand side, where it says 6th Street, and on the far left hand side, where it says 2nd Street, there are big, tall wooden palisade walls. Where you see the compass rose, that's where the gate is that later on today our heroes will return through. It is a very crude kind of gate. It's got very simple wooden hinges, and they're very hard to open, but they do when somebody needs to come or go. There is a train track running diagonally from about where the M is in Tombstone down to where the second is in 2nd Street. It goes diagonally through the town.
Okay.
There are the train tracks that go, they basically go under the palisade. There's no gates there. There is a train, however, and if you were to look outside the palisade, you would see the rest of the train outside. They've disconnected a bunch of train cars and managed to push them or pull them outside so that there's a space to put the wall. So outside the town, you got, I don't know, a dozen train cars full of who knows what. Inside the town, you've got half a dozen train cars, mainly either empty or full of coal. And at one end of that is a locomotive. Everything is super, super rusty. The train tracks are parallel to the lake or sea, which from this map would be to your upper left. And outside the town, there are some very simple wooden docks with people who fish into the water and pull out fish for people to eat, which is one of the things that they eat here. So there you go. Oh, and Allen Street, which is the main street, right in the middle of town is the Red Dog, the City Hall, which is also the courthouse, and over at the far left where you see Blacksmith, that's where the blacksmith is. And if you were to go up from that to where it says Harwood House, that's about where the McGillicuddy, which is now the Erlang House, would be. So there you go. Any questions so far?
Yeah, nope, I'm just going to skulk about in various buildings and see what I can find. The ones that are
and
occupied.
where you see down toward Tough Nut Street, see Dexter Livery, Feed, and Stable, that would be the Bittersweet.
Okay.
So Grand
I'm going to
Hotel.
skulk about in various buildings and see what I can find.
So Grand Hotel would be the Red Dog, and the Dexter Livery would be the Bittersweet. There you go. For whatever that's worth. It doesn't actually matter a whole lot. I'm just trying to give you like an image of the town in your mind. And about about 2/3 of the town is empty because most of the people who came here are dead. There you go. So you spend the day like just scoping around, looking around?
Yeah, scoping around, aka looting buildings.
What?
AKA looting buildings. They don't need it anymore.
Anything actually useful has pretty much already been taken. Not everything, because but the most useful things have been taken. Any perishable food has been taken. Any nice clothes have been taken. Any sturdy boots have been taken because they've been here about 10 years.
Did I find any lock boxes or safes that have not been opened?
Let's find out. Make a reason investigation roll.
Is there an investigation skill?
There is.
Why don't I have that?
I don't know.
I do not have an investigation skill.
You can't have everything. Where would you put it? If you don't have the skill, roll 1d6.
Yep. 5.
That is not great.
Nope.
You don't find anything of particular use. You find books that are not what you would consider up to date, like a book of natural history that describes birds and deer and possums.
That don't fit this world.
No, they don't. Things like that. All right, so The day
We're
passes.
also
You
going
kill
to
some
find out.
time.
Bring back.
Yeah, and then toward early afternoon, our heroes come back into town. Yay! Everybody's so thrilled to see you. So thrilled to see Emmet. So thrilled to see a cart full of peaches. Yay! And since this is the most interesting thing to happen today, that kills like a good solid 2 hours. So, yay!
Yeah. Um, Donald, your idea to register the blacksmith. Why don't you officially register me as the blacksmith? Since I'm the one that knows how to do it.
Ooh, and so the conflict begins because I think Donald wants the blacksmith shop.
Well, he can. I mean, he can have it. I mean, I'm just going to be the blacksmith. I'll do the normal stuff. He can do the regular other stuff with the rest of it. I'm just going to use the smithy. I mean, they want a blacksmith. He wants to tinker.
What's your take on that, Donald?
You're muted. You're muted.
Everybody's
You're
muted.
muted. Donald, you're muted.
So are you, Karen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm looking for a workshop. I'm registering the workshop. If you want to work in the workshop, just don't get in my way.
I said, yeah, I'll just be the blacksmith. I mean, I just want to have the part that you do the blacksmithing in. That's
That
all.
is the workshop.
Yeah. Well, it's not the whole thing. He's putting up a second. What is it? He's putting up a second.
Yeah, I
Forge.
know. I'm doing a little bit of foundry work.
Yeah, because I have to make the bullets somewhere, and this is the best place to do it.
Yeah, no. If we need to build a second room on, we'll just build a second.
Yeah. But I'll register myself as the blacksmith.
And
Well-
I'll be the proprietor. You
Well,
don't have to
the
register
mayor needs
yourself
to
as
know whose name to put the building in.
We'll put it in Donald's name, but I'm the
Yeah.
blacksmith.
Captain John Harrows.
Hmm. And I'll call myself his assistant if I have to, just so long as
Well,
they have a blacksmith.
the mayor
It's
says.
not like we've got a guild here.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, we need to know who owns. You could own it together if you wanted.
Sure. We could do that.
Okay. Well, I need your full names, and he like writes it all carefully down, and he said okay, and he turns around the deed, and he says you sign here and you sign there,
Mhm.
and now you are joint owners, and if one of you should die, the other one would inherit it, and if both of you
course.
should die, it returns to the town, in which case
Whoever
maybe in a
comes
few
next.
years a new blacksmith will come into town, and then they'll take it over,
Mhm.
much like you have today.
Yeah. Hmm.
Well, it's been great meeting you. I don't think we met. Hi, I'm Mayor Coburn.
I'm Michael McLaughlin.
Oh, good Irish name, or
Well,
Scottish,
that's what
possibly.
I am, an Irishman.
Oh, well, there you go. Although, isn't that a Scottish name?
Well, it depends. I mean, I think if it depends on the. It's silly.
And you're the sea captain.
Whatever.
I've heard many stories about you already. You found an enormous cow somewhere off the coast of an island. How did a huge, giant cow get into the sea? I have to hear that.
A squid bigger than this building.
Squid. And that's what's that?
A sea monster.
A sea monster.
I'm a fisherman and I caught a sea monster.
That makes a lot more sense than a giant cow. Yes. I
did not
think
imagine
yes.
it would.
I get it now. Well, it's a pleasure to meet both of you, and I hope that the Smithies brings you great success.
Thank
Okay.
you. Hopefully, I can refit it into turning out more interesting battles.
Great.
We just have to find them.
I don't suppose you do, and he like names some kind of like random thing that I'm drawing a blank on right now, but something that would have worn out in the past 10 years that he'd really like replaced.
I can probably do it.
Great.
Yeah,
That's
one or the
fantastic.
other of us could probably make
Yeah.
it.
It's something completely mundane, and I'm just drawing a blank on what it would be. I don't know, a door latch. A door latch broke in his house, and he has no way to fix it. So essentially, he props a chair against the door to hold it closed, and he'd really like to have his door latch fixed. If only someone could do that.
Oh,
So,
I can do that.
Yeah,
Simple
that's
enough.
fantastic. Well, I think you're going to be a great asset to the town. Tranquility really needed a blacksmith, and now we have two of them.
Yep.
Well, imagine our luck. You know, there's always something. There's always something bright at the edge of the cloud if you look for it. That's what I always say. All right. Meanwhile, who else is in town doing what? Anne, what are you doing?
There we go. Oh, I'm gonna. Let's see.
Actually, you said you were looking for wood for a bow and arrows, right?
Yeah, I want to see what different. On the way back, I'm probably gonna start sampling wood.
Yeah, I can give you a hand. I can give you a hand with that.
Yeah.
Can you? How?
I have survival as a skill.
You do.
Alright.
Actually, Anne does too, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. So
Between the two,
on
of us, we
the
can-
on the long walk back, in which Emmett and Sheriff Hood and Captain Harrows and I don't have a name for the Roman yet. We'll just call him the Roman
Marcus.
for now. What?
Marcus.
Marcus. Sure. Why not?
They're like
You
10 Roman names.
okay? You guys all take turn carrying pulling the cart. Meanwhile, John Erlang and Anne are like, you pass various shrubs and trees and
Excuse me.
whatever, and you discuss their suitability for this weapon or that weapon or this thing or that thing. And from time to time, I guess you'll point out something and generally go, well, we should take a look at that. And whack! And like chops a big ass chunk of it and just throws it in the back of the cart because there's room. And so by the time you get back to town, you've got, I don't know, we'll say half a dozen different wood samples. And you can remember where they came from in case you need more of that kind. So
Yep.
things that are straight and things that are gnarled and so forth.
I have the gift of perfect recall, if that will help us remember where some of
As
the
do
stuff
I.
comes
So
from.
don't worry. I'm also looking at if we see any more plant life that produces like fruits or anything, because I'm looking for oil bearing fruit.
Oil bearing fruit.
Like like avocados or olives or these things.
For sake of argument, on this particular path, the closest thing that bears anything resembling useful fruit is the peach orchard over the hill, about 3 hours out of town.
This is just this is a long term project. Anytime I go out,
All right,
wood and
I'll keep it in mind.
fruit.
The peaches
It
will
is it is
give oil.
possible that the rind, the cantaloupe type rind of these peaches, may itself have like a latex of some kind or something of that nature.
Mm.
The people in town, they don't know or care about that. They just throw the rinds away. So it's possible you could get something out of that because there are actually fruits that have um, like a latex type substance in them
Mm.
that you have to like peel carefully, otherwise, because if you eat it, it'll make you sick.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
looking
possible.
Oil because you can saponify it and make soap out of it.
Maybe so. You do pass a number of large reptilian animals on the way back to the town, but none of them bother you. They either take note of you and ignore you, or they take note of you and run away because you're bigger than they are. I'm still getting that crackling noise. That's test 2. Man, that's weird. I don't
I'm
remember
not
noticing that
hearing
before.
it that much myself, not like
All
it
right.
was before.
It comes and goes. Anyway, so you're all back to town. Blah 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 blah. So where were we? I've lost my train of thought.
Wood. Gathering supplies.
Okay, you're back at town. Emmet has taken the peaches to Tandy, who's the actual person who winds up using that stuff. Anna and John Erlang are sorting through your wood and peeling the bark off and figuring out what to do with it. And Anna wants to make a bow.
Yeah,
Correct.
I want to make a composite bow.
Well,
Or
you'll
compound.
need some kind of, for a composite bow, you need some kind of horn or shell
Yeah.
for the backing. So, but one step at a time.
One
You
step
do
at a time.
find some wood that has you think once it dries, it'll have the appropriate tensile strength that you can make a good bow out of it.
One of the things I would want to ask Sheriff Hood is, do we want to let the mayor know we can make bullets or not?
No,
Okay.
no. He's a good man,
Mhm.
but he's not a strong man.
Okay.
It's best if you don't burden him with that kind of knowledge.
Then we'll just give them to you and Sam.
That's good. Speaking of which, I need to go talk to Sam. Thank you so much for your help. I cannot tell you. It's I don't have the words for it, but
Feel free to call on us for anything you need.
and the same. You've more than cemented my trust in you. So
I ought to see Sam at some point for the weather reports. I'd be interested in the climate.
funny you should mention Sam. So everybody goes off and does their own things. Captain
good.
Harrows goes looking for Sam.
Fish.
Hmm?
Fish.
Fish.
Fish?
Fish.
Either fish
I wanna make-
or you'll need fish skin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fish oil. Yeah.
What? I've missed something. Why do you need fish oil?
So
To make not only for soap but to make a bow, a compound
Yeah.
bow. You can use fish bone or fish skin as part of the components.
Oh, okay.
That's
So you
true.
guys are off in your various investigations.
Yes.
Captain Harrows is going looking for Sam Winston, the editor of the Tribune, the Tranquility Tribune. What you find is, what's the word for it? Lynching. You find no, not lynching. That's not quite right. They're not hanging him. They've tied him to a post and they're going to whip him.
Sam? Wonder what he
That's
did.
what Captain Harrows finds. You guys are all doing your own things,
Yeah.
but that is what Captain Harrows finds. Let me go close the door. Be right back. I mean, kind of loud. I don't want to.
with me.
I don't want to disturb Susan. Who might be with Captain Harrows, who is not pursuing their own agenda at this moment?
The sheriff.
No, she's doing her own thing.
I might still be with you.
I thought the
No. You're actually. Oh, damn it!
That's right,
You
we
and
both
Captain
registered
you and Captain Harrows are
blacksmith.
doing the whole blacksmith thing.
Yeah, so we should be together still.
All right, so you finish that and then you go look for the. Okay, we'll just okay. So you're fine. You're with Captain Harrows. Anna is with John Erlang, planning the creation of deadly weapons of man killing.
Yes.
Where is Isco at this point? You when they come into town, it is not subtle. So you would have rejoined them during the whole, hey, welcome back, blah blah blah. You've rescued Emmet, yay.
Yep.
And then what? If you don't have an
With
idea,
Isco.
I do. How about this, Craig?
Hmm.
You meet everybody. Everything's going great. They, after the initial, yay, welcome back, you're heroes, yay. When people start breaking off to go pursue their own agendas, a couple of Edgelord's gang come up, find you, say, hey, Isco,
Hey,
come on, man, you're gonna miss it.
Oh,
We're gonna have a
what's
whipping.
going on? I'm sorry. Say again.
We're gonna have a whipping.
Awesome. Let's go check it out.
Come on then. And
Am I with anybody else right now? Of my group.
do you want to be? Because they kind of have all their own things they appear to be doing.
Then probably not. Then I'll go with.
Great. You go off with Thug 1 and Thug 2 and join Thugs 3 through 7. And essentially, you go to the newspaper, the Tranquility Tribune. One of the guys says, we've got business with you, Mr. Houston, Sam, and he's like, what's this all about? And it's like, well, Edgelord's going to tell you all about that, but you need to come outside now. And there's a scuffle, and there's a fight, and there's a fist fight, and a brawl, but essentially it's 7-on-1, and they drag him outside, and they tie him to a post. Do you interfere with that? Because at the moment it's 7-1, and if you help him, it's 6-2.
So, well, what did he do? What's going on here?
No. Yeah, I don't know. Edgelord just said to time to post and wait. It's kind of what he does.
Oh boy, then we might meet Edgelord under circumstances that are not good.
Turn to a post and wait. Was what the orders were.
Yes. he
Okay.
There's I seen a show once in San Antonio, and at the beginning of it, there's like a whole lot of music, and then a lot of girls come out on stage, and then they part, and then the main girl comes out, and she's got a great big fan, and she's showing everything. Well, I mean, she's showing her boobs. So Edgelord's a lot like that. He likes to make a entrance.
Oh, right.
So what we do is we all get ready, and then he comes and he's like, oh, and he don't show his boobs, but you know what I'm saying.
Well, for sure.
Yeah. We'll just hang out. It's easy work. And after we all go get drunk at the Bittersweet.
Well, that's awesome. Is there just like a slip away and try to find help?
Make a stealth roll. It would be very difficult for you to slip away from the other 6
Worst
guys.
comes to worst. Worst comes to worst, I'll just go invisible.
If you want to use your powers,
I wouldn't.
Exactly. I agree.
What?
No, I agree. I don't know if it's a good time to use them, but
Well,
You don't want Edgelord or his cronies to know what you can do. That's probably not a good idea.
hang on.
Mm-hmm.
Invisible doesn't necessarily mean you go and you disappear in plain sight.
Right.
It could just be that 1 minute you're there where they are, and the next minute they're like, "Hey, where'd Disco go?" I mean, it doesn't have to be obvious.
Okay.
Another possibility is I could do shape shifting, and I could actually change into some faceless thug.
You could just kind of like
That
gradually fade out of sight.
Right.
Whatever.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna try stealth first.
It's up to you.
Yeah, I better use the shape shifting, but I don't want to pop out or even if something happens because there's a lot of eyes.
Okay, you've got. Let me be clear. You've got invisible. Correct. Correct me if I'm wrong. You've got invisibility. You've got shape shifting.
Yep, I have both.
What is the shape shifting? What does that entail?
I'm not understanding the question.
Is it limited in some way? Can you only turn into people? Can you turn into a chair?
I never thought about that. I thought it was only. Okay, actually, I thought it was people and animals. Is what I was thinking. I wasn't even thinking of objects.
Actually, let me see what I wrote down.
Yeah.
Shape and appearance, but not your mass or size. Yeah, no, you can turn into anything you want unless you limit it.
Huh. No, I actually hadn't thought about that. I'd only considered, like I said, living things. I didn't even realize that an inanimate object was a possibility. So maybe something I'll work on later. For now, all I can do is people and animals.
Roll some stealth then. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. All right. So I do have stealth, and I have finesse and stealth.
You need a 10.
Okay. And add what is it called? Agility.
Yes.
I guess.
Yes. I rolled better than average.
10.
What
Even
do you got?
with all that. Well, wait. I got a 1, so I re-roll the 1. And I got another 1. Do I re-roll it again?
Yeah, until you get higher than 2.
Okay. All right. Oh, so I got a 10. No, 11. Sorry, 11.
You win. So you guys are all just hanging out. They tied Sam to a post, and they're just kind of like hanging out and waiting. And 1 minute you're there with them, and at some point you're not, and they don't really notice that you're not anymore.
Okay.
Where do you go? What do you do?
I go to try to find help.
Who would be easiest to find? Raise your hand.
whatever.
Wait, who would be either at the blacksmithy or the house?
Probably at the blacksmithy once we've registered.
That makes sense. So if you head to the smithy, you find Captain Harrows and Michael, and
When
they
I'm out of
are
sight, I run.
Hmm?
When I'm out of sight, I run. Out of sight of the other guy. I
not a
run.
problem. You get there. They're talking about some technical thing about forges and temperatures and annealing of steel and et cetera, et cetera.
We got Sam Houston is his name.
Sam
Winston.
Houston.
Winston.
Winston. Out in front of the Tribune. Something bad's gonna happen. There's a big gang of edgelords. A big group of edgelords. Lackeys there.
Damn.
Suggest we hurry.
Is Edgelord expected to be there?
Yeah.
Oh,
Any
bother.
minute.
We've
Oh, and so it feels like they're coming with me. I'm gonna let them know what I learned about Edgelord when I was in the Bittersweet.
Okay. Oh, that's gonna make it tough to attack him.
I don't know what that means exactly, but fear that'd be helpful.
Means we don't attack him.
Don't know if that's
We don't.
deflection or what that means exactly. I guess we'll find out.
It means we don't attack him.
And how do you defeat him?
We attack his cronies.
You might care about them.
You defeat him softly.
Defeat him softly.
Well, you defeat him by
Kill him
defeating
softly?
his cronies and leaving him alone.
You hurt his
Yes, no,
feelings? What are
no.
you talking about?
Softly.
Okay. So
It will hurt his feelings when he gets pantsed in front of the whole town.
So where would Anne and John Erlang be as they're reviewing their wood options and so forth?
I figured we were heading down to the docks to check on what kind of like fish parts we could procure. And then
Makes
whatever
sense.
else,
Makes sense.
We'll bring that back to the blacksmith area anyway, because it's probably where we're going to be doing our work.
Well, let's say you encounter everybody else as they leave the blacksmith looking for you. So
Oh, okay.
they all, Anne and John, you've got your various fish bones and skins and whatever the hell else they pulled out of the sea when there's some weird ass stuff they pulled out of the sea. So you've got that, and you're discussing on what might be useful as like a backing for a bow or for the sheathing of a whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever, man. So it's all extremely technical and extremely ancient
And smelly.
just weird stuff. But then
I'm in-
coming the other
I'm
way,
in.
you see Michael and Captain Harrows and Iskar, who look like they are definitely in a hurry to go somewhere, but also that they're perturbed and not sure where they're going. That's kind of like the vibe you get.
Brandon,
And then they
not
see
only
you.
is it Brandon, not only is it starting to be after 10, but we're in for a nasty thunderstorm here. So I don't know if I want to keep my computers plugged in anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that like actually a thing? My grandparents used to worry about that.
Yeah, I don't know. Most of my computers are old. I don't know.
Not that old. Come on.
Yeah,
right.
laptops, the worst that's going to happen is the power supply goes. But
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Well,
But-
we've got a little bit of time. Let's
Okay.
at least get to like the big reveal, and then we'll wrap up. Okay.
Alrighty.
All right. And I swear, if the lightning takes out your computer, I'll buy you a new one. I promise. Okay. I promise. All right. So you see Michael and Captain Harrows and Isco coming the other way.
I do a whistle thing like, well, let's go. We got something else to deal with.
Run up and find out what's going on.
And the short version. Well, while we're heading that way. So why tell everybody else?
Oh, I guess we're just going to have to show up and kick everybody's ass then.
I guess so.
Well, except for the Edgelord himself. Apparently, he's one of those.
Right.
Whatever hits him comes back to you.
Right.
So Michael, he's
Yep.
yours.
Oh, that's true. I don't know if mental powers are going to make him going to do the same thing to him that physical stuff does. Interesting. I never thought of that.
Let's go find out.
We're going to find out.
So you run down like a back alley, and you come out into the main street. And by this time, there's a crowd of it's probably over 100 people because there's only about 300 people in town total, and on any given day, about half of them are either tending crops or what passes for crops, or fishing, or doing something useful. So essentially, the other half are crowded around and watching what's going on. So you've got
I'm going to go invisible before we get there.
you what?
I'm going to go invisible before we get there.
Well, 1 minute Iskar
Yeah, 'cause we don't want to
Isco
lose
is with
him as
you,
our,
and another minute
in.
he appears to have vanished.
Yeah.
He seems to do this a lot.
Well, we don't want him to be associated with him if he's going to continue being a spy amongst the bad guys.
Fair
That's true,
enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. So
But I'm still moving alongside them. I'm just listening. I'm just not saying anything.
let's see. Is that a good picture? Nah, these guys are way too clean cut. I won't use them. All right. So you've got a post on the porch of the Tribune, and Sam Winston is tied to that post, and you know what he looks like, right? So,
Mhm.
and then around him, there's a half dozen guys that are all clearly of malicious intent, and then there's a crowd of people around, 100 or so people, big crowd, and then you guys come up. What do you
Walk
do?
through the crowd.
Okay,
Yeah,
crowd
Go right through the
lets you
crowd.
walk through them.
Are you Erlang Cheng or are you just Erlang?
yeah. Are you John or Shaq?
Nope, just John
Yeah.
at the moment.
Just John this time.
Okay.
Good to
Announce to
know.
the thugs, I'm going to give you one chance to let him go. After that, it's going to get ugly.
They'll turn around and look at you like you're crazy. It's like, Mister, you just got here yesterday, or was it the day before? Is it? No, it was the day before. It was the day before. Just got here the day before yesterday, and
Mhm.
you. Oh, just go sit down. Go sit down, Chinaman, because it would be rude to just kill you now when you don't know what's going on, but you don't know what's going on.
Well,
So just sit down.
What is going on? What has Sam done that's got you so upset?
Oh, you'll find out.
Step up to the guy who's been talking to him.
Yeah,
You say he's like on the sidewalk or the boardwalk.
sure.
In which case, just reach over, grab him, and throw him over me.
Throw him where?
Over me. Just grab him and wham.
Well, let's roll some dice.
Throw him
Holy
into the
shit. Okay, you need to roll really, really well. I rolled 2 6s.
dirt. Okay.
I am not the best fighter in the world, but rolling 2 6s helps a lot.
He must be really big and heavy.
14.
That's enough. So
We're talking a minor
He's-
god here, so
he's a big fella. He's got a beard and he's got a hat and he's telling you what for, and you just walk up to him and you grab him by the shoulder and just toss him behind you like he's a bag of flour.
Basically, like, grab the wrist, grab the chest, toss him over me, head first onto the ground.
People behind you get out of the way, and he bump, 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 bump. And there is a murmur of surprise.
Turn back to the other guys and say, all right, is one of you next, or should I finish this guy off first?
At that point, the crowd parts a little bit, and a guy walks through, and he says, "What on earth is going on here?" And he looks like this fella.
that was a bit of a surprise, Miss Kitty. Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I kind of got the idea that's what he'd.
And he's got
like
that jacket too. He says, "What? What the hell's going on? Who are you people?" "Oh, you're the blacksmiths, aren't you?"
Oh, I am. He is.
"Actually, I've got something I want you to work on after we're done here."
So what has Sam done? What has Sam done that's upset you so much?
"Well, Sam, why don't you tell them?" And he's like, he spits and he says, "Fuck, go fuck yourself." Which is an uncharacteristically crude thing for Sam to say.
Yeah, apparently.
And he goes, "Now see, Now see, I've done nothing. This is Edgelord talking. I've done nothing but try to serve as a good example for you people.
I hold up my hand as Lord. Now hold on, son. I could probably build you something that'd help you with that if you need it.
Look, the town of Liberty has only a very few laws, and they're for everyone's good. But if you don't follow them, you endanger everyone.
So what's the law that's been broken?
It will not escape your notice that he called the town Liberty, where everyone else calls it Tranquility. Just pointing that out. He goes, well,
Okay, I did catch that. Yeah.
Sam, you were trading with the Chinese, weren't you? And Sam just kind of like glares at him, and he goes, he was. And we all know, that trading with the Chinese. What?
Is that a problem, son?
Yes, it is. Because they're socialist, and they want to undermine what we have, which is freedom.
I look at John and say, "Are you a socialist, John?"
He's always been a capitalist as far as I'm concerned, and I'm a small business owner.
As a small business owner, you should appreciate what we're trying to do here. Because
when let Jim know, we'll talk about it.
You have a system of law and order where you actually put somebody on trial before you.
Yeah, this whole dealing with someone just because you say they're socialist, this doesn't work for me. I'm sorry, you got to come up with something documentation.
Everyone has a right to express their opinion.
I'm trying to say directly behind Edgelord, not too far away if I can be.
Okay.
So the difference
the reason I'm asking is
I go, son, the difference between reality and fantasy is your opinion.
Well,
and I'm just wondering, if you're so strong on liberty, why are you not giving this guy the benefit of trial by jury?
Well, that's what we're doing.
Well, it doesn't look like it.
It's a jury of his peers.
Does he have a lawyer?
Here are his peers. And he's gesturing at his thugs.
Okay.
Here are his peers.
These people aren't the peers of a cow.
Well, that's just rude.
That is a little rude, Captain.
Now, I'm willing to give you people the benefit of the doubt because, for one thing, you're apparently from modern day. So you know that this is all really, really backward. And it's up to us to bring them into the present.
Well, then one of the things, if you're going to bring them into the present, you got to have a true trial by jury with the prosecutor and a defense attorney.
No. Lawyers just fuck everything up. No.
Well, that's still the modern way.
We know what's going on. We know what he did. He doesn't deny it. Do you, Sam? Do you deny you went and traded with the Chinese, the Hongguo, the Wangguo?
But you're
no.
But I think we're trying to
where's the bartender? Hey, Tandy. Hey, Thug 3 and Thug 5. Go get Tandy.
What we're questioning is, are the Chinese truly socialist? I mean, our friend John here isn't.
Yeah. This is saying that everyone of a specific phenotype is socialist. That's just backward wrong.
It's not racism. They have a society that is built on thousands of years of socialism, and they exist to take away our freedom.
Actually, socialism didn't occur until.
If I wanted a woman to talk, I would have gone to the bittersweet. So you just be quiet.
I happen to have a degree in history. Thank you very much, sir.
I don't have any interest in what you have or don't have, so you can just be quiet. Sit down, go make a sandwich or something.
Yeah, remember, he's a misogynist.
Okay.
So we're not only are we racist, we're misogynist.
Thug 3 and Thug 5 come back with Tandy.
What are you from? The 40s? You are obviously not from my future unless the world has gone horribly, horribly wrong.
What year are you from?
You first, punk.
Punk? If your ideas can't stand an exchange of open dialogue, your
Open
ideas are
dialogue
weak.
allows people to
Hey,
talk. If you
you're
don't
the
allow people who
racist.
have information to talk, that's not open dialogue.
Yeah, you're the racist and misogynist. That's what we've. Well, that's what we've said.
No, Europeans set. Oh, just stop. All right. Oh,
Why don't
there, the bartender. Okay, Tandy. Hi, how's it going? And she just glares at him. He's like,
1940s, yeah, I think
he's
so.
like, don't give me that look, or I'll come over there and do something. She's like, you try it. I'll sock you in the jaw, you son of a bitch. And because she sounds like Cindy Lauper.
uh-huh.
It says, fine. Did or did not Sam bring tea to you in exchange for some alcohol that you made to take to the Chinese? And she's like, I'm not telling you nothing. And he's like, okay, fine. She doesn't deny it either. So, what we have here is a clear violation of the law.
No,
And
no, no. What we have here is a clear violation of you being an asshole.
God, Donald.
I don't think you're going to get him to fight, Donald. I think we're going to have to start it.
Mm-hmm.
all right,
I'm just saying that you can't go on saying that all Chinese are socialists. So there should be nothing wrong with trading with the Chinese. I mean, that's free trade. That's capitalism, isn't it?
And you can't use the fact somebody won't say whether or not they've done something.
oh my
You
God,
use
more
it for someone
now
who-
from the woman. Shut up. Just shut up. Anyway,
Ha.
he's
All right, a race. How fast do you run, you little snot nose?
Here he
You
does
little
come.
I'm-
snot nose. How fast do your spindly little legs carry your
sidebar for just a moment. I was actually worried that this guy is like such a complete piece of shit that I was gonna have trouble conveying that to you
He is a
because
piece
I
of
really
shit.
didn't want to roleplay this guy. I was like, it seemed like a cool idea. Like, oh my God, this guy's like from their future, and he's like this, just real. He's despicable. But then after I started thinking about it, I'm like, I don't want to roleplay this guy. But this is actually going way better than I thought.
Well,
So,
I'm willing to try to find out whether or not he just bounces physical stuff.
Brandon, can I start the fight?
if you like,
Okay.
because I'll tell you right now, this guy likes to hear himself talk and will continue to talk until all of you have grown old and died.
I'm
Yeah.
like, who wants to see a race? I'm taking bets.
Can I? I mean, I'm going to try something that that won't really hurt me badly. I'm going to try emotion control on this guy, and see if it does bounce back at me.
Feel free.
I'm going to do something gentle, like I'm going to make him feel mellow. If I feel mellow, hey, cool.
All right,
But
let
it
me
won't
see.
hurt me.
Motion control. I could double check that.
Yeah.
Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. LM. M. All right. This is your mental combat, which is your presence plus your power level plus 2d6 if you have mental combat.
Yes, I do have mental combat.
By the way, I'm giving 2-1 on the Chinaman, 5-1 on the punk, and 10-1 on the chick.
And
People are like taking a step or two away from all of you.
16.
It's not that they don't want you to win, it's they don't want to be associated with you if you lose. So they're just kind of like, little, just a little bit, just step a little bit back.
Brandon, I rolled a 16.
Holy smokes! That was almost enough to win. Yeah, you. And then, oh, dude, you feel really mellow.
So that bounces too. Okay.
And he looks dead at you, and he goes, "I see what you're doing."
Ah, interesting what you can do.
Yeah,
And I'm very mellow about it.
fun thing. Couldn't do any of that before. Only until I got
Yeah.
here.
Apparently, you've got another personality playing around in your head too. I'm sure.
Do you have that too?
But
He seems
apparently, some of us.
really interested in that once you say that, because it's like the first time he's ever heard anyone say that.
Now, I'm wondering if the piece of shit is your real self or your alternate personality.
Why do you have to be so rude?
Oh.
Have I been mean to you? Why are you being mean to me?
Well,
What
apparently
happened to
your
civility?
Yeah, no,
well, your civility went out the door when you decided to punish somebody for just trying to do free trade, which sounds very capitalistic.
No, because we have rules here, and he broke them.
Well, what is the
Okay,
rule
enough of
exactly?
this. Enough of this. Thug
And then
6.
start beating the crap out of the thugs.
What?
Start beating the crap out of the thugs.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
he's in the
We can't
midst of
touch him,
telling
but we
Thug
can-
6 to start whipping.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
and
Well,
then
now I
and then
know we
you
can't
leap
touch
into action.
him at all.
We'll go my right to my left. So, John Erlang, what are you doing?
Yeah, but we've discovered we can't touch him at all.
Okay. Grab the thug with the whip.
Oh yeah, there's like a big Jack Elam looking guy. You know who Jack Elam is, right? Anybody?
Yes. I just had a cat run into my chair. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Anyone not know what Jack Elam looks like?
Me.
Oh, okay. Well, hang on. It'll only take a second. I promise. But it's worth it because Jack Elam is awesome.
I had to Google
Fun
it.
You may know
fact,
what he looks like, I just don't know
Isco?
his name attached to the face.
Isco. Jack Elam is one of the guys who really doesn't like Edgelord, but likes his position in the town with Edgelord in it. So
Right,
it's
yeah,
more or less he doesn't even understand most of what Edgelord says, but he does what he says because the end result is he gets all the whores he wants and all the liquor he wants. So
Yep, and people respect him.
yeah, it's kind of like that. So here we go. Let's find a. Oh, that's a good one. Let's do that. Ladies and gentlemen, Jack Elam. Come on. I click and nothing happens. There we go. Ah. All right. That's not actually crap. That's the resolution sucks on that. It would have to be like that. Hang on. Ba, 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 ba. This is good enough. Here we go.
I'm assuming you mean a young Jack Elam, not an old Jack Elam.
Well, if I can get a decent fucking picture. Hang on. View image. All right. We're going to go with this. It's not the best picture, but it's what we're going to go with.
Leslie, have you ever seen an old Western with the guy whose eyes don't quite track the same?
That's him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then I do know him. I just didn't know him by name.
Okay. He's got a whip, and Edgelord says 14 lashes. Thug number 6. And I may actually give him a name because I like Jack Elam. So, meanwhile, John Erlang leaps into action and does what? Now I've got a giant Jack Elam staring at me on my screen, so I need to get rid of that because that's
Sucker punch Jack Elam.
okay.
Just walk up, put the heel of my hand straight into his breastbone.
You want a close combat brawn roll. If you're using strike, you add your power level to it.
Okay.
And Jack Elam is actually Thug 6 is actually the toughest of the thugs.
Okay. 16.
Jesus Christ! Okay, well. All right then.
I think we all put 5 into our powers.
Okay. So Thug 6 reels. This is visual. Imagine this in your head. You got Sam Winston tied to a post outside the Tranquility Tribune. You've got a half dozen guys around him who all look menacing. Then you got Edgelord, who looks like a guy in a J. Crew jacket or something. And then you've got about 100 townspeople. Thug 6 wheels back with the whip. And he's about to just lay into Sam. And then John Erlang comes up and you do what you heel of your hand against his chin or something. What was that?
Right into his sternum. Yeah.
Sternum right here. Boom. Okay. He goes back about 5 feet and lands on his back and is unconscious.
He pulls
Dang.
an envelope.
Yeah, he actually hits like 5 different people who all like get knocked out of the way, and they all stand up, and he's there, and they're like, they look at him, and they look at you, and they look at him, and they look at you, they look at him, they look at you. He's not moving.
I'm
What
still
the?
trying to take bets in a foot race between the Chinaman, the little girl, and Edgelord.
Turn around and go to the
Uh,
other side. So you next.
Michael
We
doing
really
it,
shouldn't fight. Let's settle this in a foot race.
doing. I'm just gonna go out on a limb and think they're probably not gonna agree to a race to decide.
I know. Let's have a spelling contest.
Spelling bee.
Well, no, you couldn't
Bake
have a-
off. Who can make the best muffins? So Michael, that happens. Jack Elam's on his back and is out. He is out 100%, and he rolled pretty well, but not that well.
Oh, that's interesting. I guess
Edgelord
you
is
can't-
surprised. Oh, sorry.
You can't
Just
attack the
mention-
Edgelord, but you can attack his thugs.
Tiny subtitle. Edgelord is surprised.
Yeah, I'm sure he is.
I'm
Well,
surprised. You can wait if you want.
I'm going
You-
to hold off. I'm going to
Okay.
see what
Let's go,
happens next.
Anne.
And is anybody else holding a whip?
Anna. I'm sorry, Anna. No, the only one holding the whip was Jack Elam. Let's just call him Jack. Okay, Jack.
Jack.
Something other than Elam was holding the whip. And everybody else, they have, to be clear, they have pistols. They are armed. They can shoot you if they want to. But
they want to.
yeah, Jack with the whip is down, and he's the only one you saw with the whip.
Does Edgelord have a pistol?
No,
He's not on.
He's got
No, he's
thugs
not.
to take care of his stuff.
Okay.
All right. So,
Anna.
Oh, run up to one of the other thugs and
Well, there were two holding the bartender, weren't there?
yeah. Oh, were
There are
holding
two
the
holding Tandy, like
Oh, well,
on each arm,
oh well, that won't do.
and she's just snarling and but she's also like 95 pounds. So
That's quite all right. I'm going to run up to one of those guys and strike them with my blade. I have strike
cool.
as a yes.
It is up to you what that looks like. It could be literally anything you pick up, or it could be a particular thing. It's really up to you.
Mm.
Or it could just be your fist if you want. It's totally up to you.
Well, she is a Greek huntress and fighter, so she's going to use what it's some just I guess whatever.
Could be one of the shorter resin swords that you got from the ant people. You could have at any time picked up literally a half dozen of those. So
Yeah, I probably on the way out probably grabbed another one because those things are cool. Yes.
they're sharp.
Yeah. So
They're
go
made of
in and,
amber, basically, but
yes,
they're sharp.
amber. Yeah. So and yes, and get up close and attack just like two-handed.
Is your goal killing this guy?
Oh,
I'm just
okay.
wondering what your intention is.
No, let's not kill him. Let's just okay, fine.
Flat of the blade.
Flat out of the blade.
Yeah, last one at 5 blade. Knock him out.
Yeah.
Okay. Roll brawn plus, and you have strike, so brawn plus power level plus 2d6.
All right.
Close combat.
Oh,
And if you
guys,
have
on the Erlang Shen aspect, just start killing people.
sorry, what?
I said, fair warning, guys. As soon as I take on the Erlang Shen aspect, I'm gonna start killing people.
Fair enough. Oh, if you have expertise, Karen,
Yes.
you re-roll ones and twos until they are not ones and twos.
Right, so bronze plus power level 13.
Whap! You hit him, knock him back. He falls back and is out of the fight because he doesn't have a name. Jack, Captain Harrows.
I'm still trying to take bats.
Oh, come on. They're just
No
going
one
for
is
it. No one's
accepting your
taking
bets
it
on
back.
your foot race idea. They're just not doing it.
No. I'm changing the bats. I'm changing the bats. I'm taking bets on whether the Chinaman or the girl takes out more of Edgelord's thugs.
Okay, let's give this a shot. Um, presence plus diplomacy. Tell me what you get. Let me know if you get a 13.
Oh, probably not, but
The odds are against you.
hold on, I rolled. Oh no, I don't have. Okay, no, only a 9.
They roll as high as
This
I
goes.
can get.
So several people look at you like that's oi. English? No, Cockney? That's. Oh, that sounds as in good odds. No, not that's. No, they don't. they they think about it and then realize, oh, yeah, that's probably a terrible idea. All right,
Yeah.
what? So you can do something useful if you want. Do you want to? You don't have to.
No, I am. I'm pissing off Edgelord.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I asked.
Pissing off Edgelord,
I
not
asked. I asked him. Come on. I asked him. I tell him. Come on, man. Chinaman or the girl who takes out more of your goons?
Okay,
you know
hang
you
on.
want money on this.
So there's a thing called distraction. It's a thing. It's an action you can do. So
Okay.
I think that's what you're trying here. So let me see how that works
Sure.
because I wrote
Actually,
it
I'm
down.
trying to make profit, but that's just me.
Distracting. Distracting can be used by a character to mislead an enemy into dropping their guard. You need a standard action, deception presence against the deception presence of the opponent. So,
I do not
your
have
deception presence against my deception presence. Let's see what we get.
I do not have deception.
Then you get 1d6. As it happens, I also do not have deception, so I also get 1d6. So, here we
Oh,
go.
good, Donald.
Let's see what happens.
Oh, hey, an 8. That's not bad.
I have a crazy high manipulation, though. But
Oh, I have manipulation too.
but not deception. Okay, I have a 9. What do you have?
You'd beat me.
Okay.
You got me by 1 point.
You're trying to goad him, and he looks at you, and he knows that you are trying to goad him. And he goes, I see what you're doing. Craig, what are you doing? You're invisible about 6 feet behind Edgelord, right?
I'm waiting for Edgelord to attack or bring a weapon up or something.
He doesn't seem to be that kind of villain.
Yeah,
He gets others to do it for him.
At which point, we get all the other thugs. Everybody ready? Because the thugs are going to go crazy now. John Erlang, you outright flattened Jack. So we're going to start... Oh, what the hell? Let's just shooting at you. All right.
I kind of figured.
Yeah. You need to roll ranged combat plus your agility 5 times.
Okay. Let's see. 11, 12, 15, 11,
Wow.
12. 11, 12,
Wow.
15, 11, 12.
There is a cacophony of gunshots. Bam, 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 bam. One bullet hits you. Lose 1 endurance.
Okay.
I asked
I'm the guy who
Edgelord,
actually hit me, and I'm like,
Oh, this is
seriously?
important. Um, you have damage resistance, yes?
Yes.
So your power level adds to your agility when you roll that.
And add 4 to all of those rolls.
Well then, one bullet hits your armor.
15, 16, 19, 15, 16.
I'm glad I pointed it out
Yeah,
because
right.
one bullet hits your armor, and would it bounce or just hit and stop and then fall? What's the deal?
It'd splatter up or shatter up against it.
Just shatters into tiny harmless pieces of lead. Yeah.
I say, are you sure you don't want money on the Chinaman?
Haven't even raised my aspect yet.
Yeah. Edgelord is uncertain on how to proceed. And he goes, hang on, hang on, hang
We're
on.
just businessmen here.
We don't need to descend into violence, he says to his
We-
own
we-
people.
We,
Stop,
we-
stop. To John Erlang, he says, you know, for one of the lesser races, that's really impressive.
Don't worry.
Watch your mouth, son.
Don't worry. I'll come take care of you in a minute.
I go, watch your mouth, son.
God, he
Why
sounds
don't
like his secondary personality is a not as nice and advanced as his modern day personality.
Either that or the world's gone to hell. I'm willing to give that a chance.
Yeah, he probably has come
look
from
look?
the world gone to
Clearly this has gone.
hell. Let's find out what it
This
is.
is taking a turn for the violent. Can we simply just stop? Can we just stop? Take a step back and have a conversation about this?
We've tried.
No, no.
That's
Chinamen are fair to trade with. That's the starting offer. That's the minimum. That's the bare minimum. It's a free trade agreement.
I don't
That's our
think we
bare
have a
minimum.
lot of common ground here.
It's our bare minimum. Say yes, and we will consider it. Otherwise,
Where's the sheriff? Sheriff Hood, where are you? And Sheriff Hood,
Are we still in
who
combat
has
right
been
now?
here the whole time, like steps out from behind somebody and says, "What?" And he says, "Are you not going to do anything about these people? Are you going to leave it to me and my friends to deal with this? Aren't you the law here?" And she says, "I don't see anything." So that's kind of how that goes. So people who held their action was Michael and I believe Isco.
Right.
Do you do
Yeah.
anything before we start over?
Yes. So go ahead.
Go ahead, Isco. You go first.
So would I be strong enough to pick up two of them and knock their heads together? I have a
What's your brawn
of three.
total?
A brawn of 3.
No. One.
Okay.
You can pick up one person and like toss him, but two is too much.
The one that shot the gun that it's shattered on. I'm sorry, I forget his name again.
That was luck. That was just luck.
Relax.
I don't care.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. So
That's
you go
awesome.
after that guy and do what with him?
Toss him into another thug.
Well, let's give it a shot. Okay. You roll close combat brawn, unless you have
Yep.
strike, in which case it's close combat brawn plus power
Right, close
level.
combat.
And he. Oh,
So I'm not-
yes! Yes!
I'm not.
Roll 12. I am
Okay.
awesome.
Does he even know the attack is coming?
I wasn't planning on using any of the fire, but I guess I could.
Oh, shit. You're invisible. I don't see you coming. So I do not roll a
True.
12. I
Actually,
roll a
I had-
6.
I forgot actually to remove that, so I guess that's fine. Okay. So, and I have finesse, or finesse. It's not called finesse. What do you call it? Not finesse, is it?
Expertise?
Expertise, yes. Okay, I have expertise on close combat, so we roll those ones. So we got 13.
Right then. Okay. So He does not see you coming, so he
Uh-huh.
got the 1d6 instead of 2d6.
Okay. So I toss
And
him into another of the thugs that shot at Lloyd's character.
let's see how that. I've got to
It's 4 out of 6 down.
hang on. There's like a sweep attack thing.
I'm getting that feeling that our friend Edgelord has another power. But
Oh,
we're gonna
hang on.
Oh, at
If
least
if
one.
you want to do both of these attacks in the same action, you get a penalty die. So you only roll one die instead of two.
To toss one to another.
So I'll let you pick now. You can either drop the second die, or you can keep it. Up to you. But if you drop the second die, you can roll again to hit the other guy with the first guy with one die. It says one die twice or two dice once. It's up to you.
So with what I rolled, then I would have gotten a 9 and a 7. Would that have worked? So I'm invisible.
Well,
Do I add? So I guess do I add my brawn to each die then?
6, 7, 8. Okay. If you, with the numbers you gave me, you get the
Yep.
first guy easily.
Yep.
You miss the second guy, and the first
Okay.
guy just hits the ground, and is out. Like he bonks his head on a watering trough, and
Yep.
he's out. Second guy sees that guy coming and like steps out of the way.
Okay.
Is that cool for you?
That's fine.
Awesome. Michael, what are you doing?
I'm actually going to do something peaceful. I'm going to try to undo the ropes on our friend Sam telekinetically.
Up to late. Love you.
I love you too, sweetie. Yeah, well, that's easy enough. You know, the ropes are not struggling, so you don't need to roll for that.
Stepping
just-
back and just looking mellow.
And
I'm looking mellow.
And you're mellow, and
Yeah.
none of these guys are Boy Scouts, so the knots even aren't that hard to untie. So you and the ropes untie and Sam is freed.
And I'm looking
And-
innocent and mellow.
The people next to you are looking at you like your head is made of green cheese. What the? Wait, what?
'Cause I didn't move. I just stood there.
So we're starting over with John Erlang, who
Okay.
just flattened Jack.
Yep. I'm gonna walk over to where Edgelord is standing.
Mhm.
Take on the aspect of Erlang Shen as I do,
Well, that's something. That's
know,
different.
and I'm going to very gently reach out and try and just basically grab Edgelord by the front of his jacket.
Which shouldn't
Not a
count.
violent move, but it'd be like something if you were having an argument with somebody, if you were going to grab them and pull them close to you.
A grapple. Okay. This is your close combat brawn versus his close combat agility or brawn, whichever is better, and they're the same, so it doesn't matter. And if you win, he's restrained.
I'm not even trying to restrain him. I just wanted to get a hold of him.
Well, that's how that works.
Okay. I understand what you're saying.
Hang on, I gotta roll some dices. You got thunder yet, Leslie?
No, we're fine. It seems to have passed by really quickly.
Okay. Well, holy
But
smokes!
it's getting late.
I rolled
It is
12.
getting late, though.
12.
I rolled 15.
He beat you.
Well, that's significant. All right.
So I'm going to basically reach
Because
out.
actually, he adds his agility to that, but it's
Mhm.
still not 15. So
Okay.
you reach out and very deliberately grasp his lapels and hold them.
And then fly 1,300 meters straight up.
Jesus Louise, man! So there's like,
Wait. When Erlang goes to grab him, I say, "Mind your manners, boy."
so there's like a, and the ground is spread out tiny,
Oh
tiny,
my
tiny
God,
below
I just
you.
realized
And there's
if
like
Erlang drops him,
clouds.
if Erlang drops him, the only person that's going, oh my God, the ground is going to get damaged.
So that was impressive.
So,
He
okay,
actually
now
let me
want to
because
try an experiment?
That should be
he,
interesting.
I asked the rest of his goons if they think trading with Chinamen is okay.
so there's for the people on the ground. John Erlang walks toward Edgelord, gradually changes into Erlang Shen, grabs him by the lapels, and then there's like a poof, and they go up, and that's like it's like poof, and there's like a dust cloud that like kind of like goes up after them.
All right, that's
And
impressive.
everybody like does this. Wait, what?
Oh wow, that's impressive.
Oh, he can
How
fly.
do you do that?
He can fly.
He can fly.
There's a
That's
good
amazing.
30 people who all say independently, he can fly. So there's that. All right.
I'm wondering if the
Edgelord
power of Edgelord.
maintains his composure. Like his eyes like widen a little bit. And then when you're up there, he like looks around. And he's like, "That's some trick. You know, if you kill me, you'll prove me right."
Something.
What is going on? Do you hear that?
I am hearing it.
Not me, I assure you.
That was Greg.
Oh, okay.
Is that Craig? Was that you, Craig? Anyway, his eyes widen as you go 1,300 feet up, and then when you stop, and he looks down, he says, "You know, if you kill me, you're going to prove me right."
No, if I kill you, I'm going to prove me right.
Dropping him is a free action, so do you let him go, or do you just hang on to the next action?
Nope,
What?
bye.
What?
I say, nope, bye, and let him go.
I mean,
You let him go.
technically, Erlang has not attacked him in any way, so the
I'm
only thing
exactly
that's technically attacking him is the ground.
Yeah, there's no reflection, there's no absorption. It's just
See,
falling down.
okay, so you let him go, just so we're clear.
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
He begins to fall. It will take a bit for him to hit the ground because
One-
gravity's not quite as fast
The
as you are.
ground is the only one that's going to take the damage if there's reflection.
Anna, you're on the ground. You just nailed one guy who is holding Tandy. The other guy he's still like got a hand on her arm, but he's not really paying attention to you or her. He's looking up. Holy smokes.
He's having one of those, well, there's something you don't see every day moments.
That is wait, can he wait, what? What do you do, Anna?
Oh, I like sweep him and drop him.
Yeah, no roll necessary. He's just out.
He dared to touch her. It's like,
And then Tandy kicks him in the midsection. Thunk.
yeah,
Good for her.
Yeah, and she calls him a crap hound. So,
That works.
there you go. Captain Harrows is still taking bets, I guess?
Yeah, I look over at the two guys remaining of Edgelord's gang.
At this moment, they're not so much Edgelord's gang as they are people who were there who arrived with Edgelord, who are observing what's going on.
And before-
Right. But there's two of them left.
I think at this point,
He's
yeah,
part of the
yeah,
crowd
two.
now,
There's
I
two.
think.
Yeah, I look at him and go, you can trade with who you want, right?
Well, I got no problem with that. You got a problem? No, that sounds fine to me. I don't, I never had no problem with no Chinaman.
That's what I thought.
I like tea.
I happen to like it too. Good stuff.
I don't
Can't
like
beat
tea.
Tullamore.
I don't
Can't
like
beat
tea, but
Tullamore.
I'm okay with Chinaman. Is that all right? Don't hurt me. Alrighty then. Let's
Don't go
see.
away.
A character falls and strikes a surface. Loses 1 point of endurance for each 5 meters fallen, rounded down.
So 1.3 kilometers.
So that's a whole bunch. Yeah. Alrighty.
Several digits.
Right
This
then.
thing- this may turn out really ugly. I may explode in midair the moment this guy hits the ground, but I figured it was worth a shot.
Oh, you might.
Technically, you didn't do anything to him though. You just dropped him.
It
Oh,
depends on-
You gonna argue technicalities
Yeah.
with the forces of the
argue.
universe, the inscrutable rules
Yes,
that
I
govern?
am going to argue technicality. He
All
did
right.
not do anything
So-
stupid.
One more action. Isco, what are you gonna do?
So I see him falling.
He's
and
falling. Oh, he's definitely falling.
It's gonna get ugly, right?
One way or another.
Let's see.
Um,
What's his composure like? Is he screaming on the way down? Hang on.
I don't think so.
I mean, being you,
Let him fall. I
I'd
say let him
I'd be
fall.
screaming. I'd be screaming a lot.
You'd be screaming like a little girl.
I'd be
So-
it would not be.
Buffalo to little girls. Yeah.
So
Yes.
my thought process is, yeah.
Oh
he's
my
a
God.
bad guy,
Double sixes.
Keeps his
Complete
composure.
composure. He's Hans Gruber going on the way down. He's looking up at you, and he's like nodding at you like this ain't over. As he gets smaller and smaller and smaller in the distance.
Well, when you come back in your next life, you can start all over again.
That's what you're doing,
Coming
Craig.
back in your next life with him.
What's this guy
For all
doing?
we know.
So yeah. So although he's a bad guy, this feels a little. This feels
Don't
like
let him
murder.
fall. Let him
It
fall.
really
Please let him
feels
fall.
really bad. Like just
No.
bad. Isco is a good Catholic boy. He doesn't
Oh,
agree with what is about to happen. So he's going to try something that's outside of his comfort zone. Well, Iscolander actually.
I was
and-
afraid we'd
and
have a goody two shoes with us. Damn it.
shapeshift into something that's not living, like one of those big pillows an acrobat would land on if they're falling from a great height. One of those mattress things that lets all the air out of
We
it.
have to have a goody two shoes, don't we? Damn it.
Oh,
What
gee, my next action was to look around at the crowd and say, y'all might want to stand back.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Okay.
he's gonna live. Damn it.
You know what I'm
So-
talking about?
You does Isco have? Does Isco? Man, does everybody have ultra power at this point? Does Isco have ultra power?
No, this is shape shifting.
Okay.
We
You
don't
can
hold
change-
That wasn't gonna work.
You can change your shape and appearance, but not your mass or your size. So you can't turn into a great big poofy thing.
So
You can turn into a
mass-
human-sized poofy thing.
Well, that'll have to do. I'll try to position myself. I wonder where he is. And mass wise, it's very lightweight. It's mostly air and some rubber.
I think you're gonna hurt.
Yeah, you're going to take like 10 million points of damage when he
You
hits
are gonna take damage. No,
I guess it depends on how the shape shifting works.
no, you are you
If
still
I'm really
you.
that object,
If you do you have damage resistance?
I do have damage resistance.
resistance.
That's kind of what was it that part?
Do you have damage resistance?
I have damage resistance. Yes, I do.
Okay. Well, it probably won't kill you. It's
Well,
gonna
I'm
hurt though.
worried that him interposing himself with the other guy is going to be like him hitting the other guy, and he's going to take more damage from that. That's what worries me.
I was just wondering what the terminal velocity of the bad guy was.
Yeah, because I have a feeling no matter
Really
what, he's
bad.
gonna hurt.
Regardless of what happens, this feels right. So that's what it's going to do.
You attempt to do what you're doing. You want to save Edgelord from his fate. Okay, so there is
I
a.
don't see it that way. Saving him from his fate, I see it as saving him from murder. Is the way I
Oh
see it. Is the way
no,
it's
no,
going.
I don't think you're wrong. I mean,
Okay.
it's clearly murder,
I
but
don't think you're wrong.
Well,
no, it's clearly murder. But
I have
Okay.
An action too. I have an action too.
what are you
Now,
doing?
happening and possibly dangerous for my friend Isco.
Yeah, Isco turns into essentially a human-sized gelatinous cube.
I push him aside since I have an action with my
You do what?
telekinesis. And I push him aside with my telekinesis at the last minute.
Wow. Well, I'm sure that will never have
Not
any
necessarily-
negative repercussions
no,
at all.
this is to save
So-
Isco's life. Since I don't know he is damage resistant, I'm trying to save Isco's life.
So, Isco, make a agility range combat roll. And Michael,
Range combat. I don't have range
make an
combat.
agility. You don't have. Oh, come on. So
I have
1d6 then.
close combat.
Okay. So Michael, make an agility range combat roll.
With the power, because this is a power.
I believe telekinesis does add power. Let me double check.
Yep.
Most of the time it
Yeah.
does. Let me double check. Telekinesis.
You see, I'm worried about Isco. He might die.
Yes. Agility plus power level versus his range combat agility.
Okay. My total is.
Oh, if you have damage resistance, that adds your power level. Isco.
Oh, okay, cool. That's good.
My total
Oh,
is.
and my agility and my power level then.
Yes,
Okay.
plus 1d6.
My total is 18.
That is a really good total.
6 plus 7, 13.
Not so much. No, no. All right. So you transform into a gelatinous cube, hoping to soften the blow of Edgelord hitting the ground. But then a force comes from behind you,
Pushes
and you
out
are
of the way.
slid across the ground.
I
And
use
then
a plot
behind you
point.
there is a
I use the
boom.
plot point.
And oh my goodness, what do you? I keep forgetting to tell you guys about this. Yes, use your plot points. You totally have those. You should use them. What do you do with it?
Basically dig in. Won't be moved.
Well, I can dig in too with a plot point. I
Roll-
don't want you hurt. I really don't. You will get hurt. I don't care if you have damage resistance. This is going to hurt.
In the
So get out of the way. We can both use a
Can
plot
use a
point
plot
if we
against
have
a plot
to.
point.
well, since
Or the
you,
final.
I didn't anticipate this. So
Yeah.
since you both want to spend one, it just kind of cancels each other out, and we're just gonna. It just whatever would have happened would already happen. So it's gonna get slid to the side, and there is a boom, and
I want to see what happens to
everyone
him.
within 50 feet all just kind of like jumps at the same time,
Yeah.
and there's
know-
like a plume
Okay,
of.
so
I'm
just
guessing
before
he's going to survive. I'm guessing
so
he's
just
going to
before
survive.
he lands, I get to say y'all might want to step back.
Yeah. But I'm guessing the Edgelord's going to survive. That's why
About
I'm not
about
too
half the people within 20 feet fall down,
Mhm.
and there is a crater. Actually, I need to make a roll.
I'm guessing he's going to
'Cause
survive.
that
I'll
is
bet you.
just okay.
Mhm.
So dust begins to settle.
I walk over and look in the crater.
You see, I was more worried that you wouldn't survive and he would. So I think he's going to survive.
Do I see person or pizza?
We're out of combat, so this is kind of everybody doing whatever they want to do. At the bottom of the crater is this fella who is awake but looking extremely, what's the word? Surprised? Yeah, I think
I thought he
surprise
was
is
gonna
about as close
survive.
as we're gonna get it.
I thought he was going to survive.
He's like disbelief. The expression on his face is disbelief. Like, what just happened? That is what he's not saying it, but that's what his expression says.
I
And he's
said,
like
"Repeat
laying
after
there.
me. Racism is wrong. Women should be respected."
Now the question is Erlang still alive?
Erling's like half
Yeah.
mile up.
Yeah, if I am, I'll float back down.
Erling floats back down.
I just wanted to make sure if I was going to explode, I was going
Apparently you guys cancel each other out.
No, nothing whatsoever happened to Erling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
However, this is like an 8-foot deep crater this guy's in.
That's interesting.
So
Float down, look in the crater.
And that crater would have been you, Isco.
Maybe.
I didn't think he was going to
Racism
die.
is wrong, and women should be
Because
respected.
nobody attacked. So his power was going to bounce back at whatever hit him, which was the ground.
his
why I
mouth
figured he-
moves a little bit, but you can't hear anything.
Yeah, I'll take that as a yes, son.
But I figured he was going to survive for that reason. The ground took the damage.
You-
Witness the crater.
I look of has Erlang leveled down.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody's down.
John, you know he's gonna be pissed after this, right?
I could throw him in the river and see what's going to eat him.
Fair enough.
Whatever happens, it's going to bounce. I knew he was going to survive because hitting the ground was going to take the damage.
Oh, then throw him into the lake. There's some much bigger things I wouldn't mind being taken out by him.
Right.
That's true, yeah.
He can clean out the lake.
I'll purchase
He gradually like levers himself up to a seating position. He's clearly either dazed or sore,
I'd get him now before he loses his days.
and he gets to where he's like seated like
That's an
vertically.
interesting power you've got there. That's incredible.
Now, would you like to be friends? You can nod your head yes.
Of course, I want to be friends. We're
Well, good.
we're
have to learn to
both
be polite.
we're both
Sure.
people of European descent. We should be friends. We should be working together to help these
There
people.
we go again.
You already gone wrong there. You already gone wrong there.
I guess he forgot to shave his head because he's run out of razor.
Maybe it'll fall off.
He
Yeah,
like
you already done it wrong
he
there.
he
That power
starts he
works
stands
exactly
up
the way
and
I
he's a little
expected it
shaky,
to.
but he's standing up and he's like, you know, if you have to resort to violence, that only proves that what I've been saying is right.
Well, we're just
Yeah.
protecting a friend, and that's Mr. Winston, and
Yeah.
that's all the point we wanted to make. Mr. Winston's done nothing wrong as far as I'm
Yeah.
concerned.
But he has.
Kid, you were the one who told that fella to whip Sam. That's violence. You started it. We ended it. Repeat, rinse, and repeat as necessary. Comprende, Padre?
Let's see. Who would Rose talk to? Who does Rose think is like the most reasonable, orderly, law type person?
Probably
I actually think it's
I've
probably.
I've scratched his back.
Francesco.
for a
Mike.
minute.
I go to Francisco because he's a lawful goody two shoes.
Actually, from her point of view, I'm thinking it's probably John Erlang. Because
I'm standing about a foot off the ground with my arms folded, glaring at Edgelord.
Rose, who has a shotgun over her shoulder, will walk up, kind of like next to and slightly behind John Erlang. She's like, "If we can't kill him, what are we going to do with him?"
I could throw him in the river.
I'm telling you, the lake. You throw him out far enough, he's got to swim back.
I get the impression he doesn't have a whole lot of offensive capabilities, and he certainly doesn't have anything capable of stopping me. So I reach down, I grab him, I fly him out to the Aztec Empire, and drop him off there.
Where's
Okay,
that?
yeah,
I don't know what that is.
I don't know where it is. I just keep hearing about it.
Oh,
Drop
it's
him
off
in
in that direction.
You
And
can
I-
drop him in the lake.
The Indians, the little savage guys.
Oh, the Mexican Indians. You know,
They had a nasty.
there's a lot worse things you could do. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm thinking the lake.
They're bad.
the
I
lake.
mean, he's bad, but they're bad.
Actually, they're not that bad. They just misunderstand you guys because of cultural differences and language barriers.
I vote for the lake.
They actually were quite respectful when we let them go.
What? Oh wait, actually, she was there for that. So she's like, yeah, well, you know, you set him free from the ant monsters, so that was something.
Yeah, but remember, if they try to cut his heart out, which they tend to do, they'll get their hearts cut. Just throw him in the lake.
Yeah, the lake.
Let a sea monster eat him.
Like, worst case scenario, he takes out one of these big nasty monsters that, like the one that attacked.
She looks over at Captain Harrows. Captain Harrows. She like points at Captain Harrows. She's Captain Harrows. You said that we should have a jury of peers and have
I
a
agree.
trial for Sam.
Jury.
Well, no, I said that these ruffians were not the peers of a good man like Sam, is what I said.
I said that I'm the one that suggested a jury of
Michael
peers.
She
suggested
looks
a jury of
around.
peers, and I agree.
That's a great
Oh,
idea. We should actually let the people
We should
decide.
try him.
Yes.
Where's
Try 'em.
where's the mayor? Mayor Coburn? Mayor Coburn? And like from out behind a water trough, Mayor Coburn's like, here, because he's hiding, because he's not he's cowardly, but he's not stupid. And he's like, here. He's like, I think we need a trial. What do you think? And he's like, who are we trying? And she points at him in the pit. And of course Edgelord says, I have done nothing wrong. I've been helping you people. If it weren't for me, dinosaurs would eat you. Those Aztecs would eat you. You have no idea the misery you're bringing upon yourself if you
Like them ants that tried to eat Emmet and you wouldn't help him?
No one came and asked me to help with that.
That's because you weren't here, little boy. So stop trying to be like your God.
So
You are just a man.
so you're doing that. So John Erlang, you're the person closest to Rose. What's your response to the whole maybe we should have a trial thing?
To be perfectly honest, I don't think he's worth a trial, but this is your town, not mine. If you want me to, I'll go pitch him in the lake or go throw him into a pile of Aztecs. But
I was
Don't
wondering
wish that on the Aztecs.
I've already made my wishes as to how to dispose of him clear.
I wouldn't want to. Don't throw them Don't give them to the Aztecs. He might hurt them. We don't want that. They're not bad people.
my thought is wondering if hung by the neck until dead still suffices if it takes a month or two. And I look at Edgelord when I say that.
But then again,
I think a trial
So
is
maybe
fair.
we ought to all stop being racist pieces of crap.
Or I'll tell the
And
sheriff. Or I
accept
suppose we could accept.
that all men are equal, and then we have no beef.
yes, exactly.
You're also going to tell the woman that you're sorry and that you respect her and that she is smarter than you.
She probably is,
But that's not true.
but she
Well,
is.
I know that it's true. How many doctorates do you hold?
Okay, the mayor does not want to take a stand until it's clear that the people in power will not want to take revenge on him for taking that stand. So he's just, you all have good points, and that's his point of view. And then Rose is like to John Erlang, she's like, yeah, I'm with you, but if we start down that road, it may go a place we don't want to go.
I agree. This is a civil. If this town's to remain civil, I think a
You
trial.
need to
is
have a
proper.
trial if you want to.
And
have a
basically
civil trial.
the townsfolk around, they're all just kind of murmuring, and they're gonna go whatever way guys want to go with it.
I say trial.
I just think that this kid here should admit that this lady is smarter than him, and this man
Because she is.
I'm never going to admit that. That's not true. That's not true. Women are genetically inferior to men. You know
They are.
that. You
They
know
are.
that.
Yeah, yeah. I
you're
agree with the 1940s.
No, that's Malthus stuff. This guy must be from like the 1890s.
He starts quoting Ayn Rand. It doesn't actually make a lot of sense,
I've got a question
but he starts quoting
for
it
you.
as though it does.
I've got a question for you. What year are you from?
2039.
Then why are
2039.
you why are you so unenlightened then? We got past this.
Where are you
DNA.
from? I thought you were from the future with me, with the
No,
present, the
2019.
21st century.
2019, which when we already know that
2019
DNA
was
has
when
nothing
everything
to do-
started going right. When
I
when we started making sense of society.
Interesting. You might be from a different dimension too.
Anyway, look at the sheriff. You sure you want this guy sticking around?
Oh, I
Trial
don't want
them.
him sticking around. I
Well,
really don't.
trial might determine we could
I
give
really
him an
don't.
exile.
But if we just
I
straight
still
out,
wanna
if we
know
just straight
how
out kill
long-
him, where will that? Where
We'll
will
try. Why
that
don't we
stop?
try him?
Trial or banishment? Banishment isn't killing. Banishment is simply saying he's no longer welcome here.
But then we don't get to find out how long it takes to hang him by
Oh.
the neck until death.
You
And
guys,
that would be
I
really
wouldn't want to be the hangman. Remember, it bounces back.
I that's what horses are for.
I still like the lake idea if he's found guilty.
hang on. Okay, this guy literally crawls from between people and points at Edgelord's hair, because that's really all he can see, and
Is that,
says,
what's his
I
name
think
again?
banishment's a good idea.
Is that Jack?
That's Jack. He's the guy with the whip.
I agree with Jack, despite the fact that I just stowed his chest in a few minutes ago.
No hard feelings, buddy.
No.
Just, you know, I think banishment. Just make him leave.
If he gets banished, then maybe one of the dinosaurs will eat him, and we'll see what happens.
But really, it's on you guys. What do you want to do?
Um,
Literally, everyone is looking to you. What do you want to do?
You banish him.
You can vote.
Banishment's
Why don't you
fine,
vote?
but
You got
I
one,
think
two, three, four,
Twilight-
five. You got 5 people, so there's no ties. Vote. What do you want to do?
I say
banishment's
banish him.
fine. Banish him.
Banish him.
I guess the polite thing to do would be just to banish him.
Well, trust me, the things I really want to do with him are completely and utterly uncivil. But I know that suggesting that I throw him into the pit full of crocodiles to see what happens. Is it going to
After a trial, yes, but we haven't
Well,
done
I don't want this guy opening his mouth. He's already toxic enough.
besides beyond kidnapping and abuse. What can we currently, unless other people can come up with other charges, that I don't currently know of.
All right, Craig, what do you think?
Well, I think banishment probably makes the most sense, but he'll probably just get another force and come back, I imagine.
Well, I was going to suggest out of character to Lloyd.
Hmm.
You are the Chinese god. Nobody's watching you. We banish him. You can do
Banish him to the
whatever
middle
you
of the
want.
lake.
Once he's outside,
I wanted to get
once
into
he's outside the town, you can do whatever you want.
You know what?
Nobody will know.
You know what? His offense was against the people of Chan.
Or his offense is actually against the civilized people of Serenity or whatever this town is.
Tranquility.
Tranquility.
Yes. So honestly, yeah, actually, that is correct. All of his offenses were
Been against the people.
of tranquility. This actually shouldn't be our decision just because
Yeah.
we're the ones
Yes,
who.
the township should vote.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I still say kick his ass out.
Like I said, Lloyd, you can do whatever you want when our backs are turned. You're the
I
Chinese
don't want
god.
to become the dictator here. So.
We're not the dictators or rulers here.
Yeah.
We're
On the other hand, I can think of 5 absolutely wonderful long-term, day to week-long methods of execution, and I would love to find out which of them last the longest on it.
See now you're thinking like me. Yeah. I mean, well, dropping him from orbit didn't kill him. Let's see what does.
Regardless of the way he's done, I don't believe in the death penalty. No, I'm sorry.
Well, let the town. I agree with Anna.
And
Let the
again,
town decide.
It's not the death penalty.
He
Not
he
the-
raises
Banish.
his hand. Edgelord raises his hand.
It's ISCO. It's not the death penalty that I'm in favor of. It's the information that I'm in favor of.
Yeah.
Are we
I
gonna
can
let
see
him
where he's
talk,
coming
or are
from.
you
He
guys
still
gonna-
rolls his eyes.
I don't care if
Um,
he dies. I just want to know.
What was that, Edgelord? What do you want to say? He raised his hand. Edgelord, you raised your hand. What do you want?
If you don't want me here, I'll leave.
Thank you, please.
Please.
Door is that way.
Crawls out of the. Well, he attempts to. Let's see. Does he succeed? Because it's actually actually a pretty deep thing to
I'm
crawl out of.
curious to know who is I guess Edgelord is his second personality. I wonder who his first personality is. I think he's from an alternate universe, like the Civil War people,
Yeah.
where
Well,
I
this whole
don't think
town's from an
he may
alternate.
not necessarily be our future.
Well,
Is
that's
what
a,
I'm thinking.
And I do tell it, when you can learn to respect all people, we will have a drink together.
Okay, he tries a couple of times to crawl out of the crater, and he eventually succeeds. It takes him several minutes though.
I was gonna say, if he gets close, I'll offer him a hand.
He does
tell
not
him-
accept it.
He does not accept it.
No, he does not accept it.
Let him
Okay.
go. Lloyd, like I said,
He eventually manages to crawl out, and like dust himself off.
When you
That's
can
an
be
interesting
polite-
He just
power.
looks at you with
be
pity.
polite and accept that all people are equal, then we can be friends.
But that's not true.
It is true.
And he turns around and he just walks. He just walks toward the
I'm
gate.
thinking he's from another alternate future. That's what I'm
no,
thinking.
he's just an asshole.
He is an asshole. That's true.
Oh, come on,
Um,
people
I don't
are.
know, he's full of them.
well,
Yes.
Yeah, come to North Carolina for a week.
I said, and you're a God. We can't stop you from doing whatever you want to do.
Brendan, I'll escort him outside of town.
He just leaves town, and he when he gets outside of town, he just looks around and he picks a direction and he starts walking that way. And he seems almost serene in the thought that he has done his best to uphold his values against people who simply weren't enlightened enough to understand them.
I want to know about the two personalities or war in that head.
I just want to know how he equates John Erlang as inferior.
Well, it has to do
But
with
I
whatever.
don't get.
Donald, it has to do whatever the two personalities at war in his head are.
No,
That's all I can think.
This is like seeing is believing, right?
Okay, so the amount of acclaim you got for bringing back Emmet is nothing compared to when that guy leaves and John comes back. Oh my God, they are so very happy. You would just, it is, the guys you knocked unconscious. Jack, the guy with the whip, he like hugs John Erlang. He's like, "Oh my God, buddy, you are my best friend forever. If we had money, I would buy you beers until the day I die." And they're thrilled. They're thrilled to have him gone. Even the guys who were just half hour ago tying Sam Winston to a post.
Okay.
Oh, speaking of, I'm going to go check on Sam and see how he's doing.
Oh, he got untied by you.
Oh, he is untied.
And he's just been standing there watching the whole thing. And he's like, "Yeah, I figured that'd happen eventually."
One of the thugs take his
Yeah.
gun and his gun belt.
Oh, he'll
I
take
mean,
off a hand to you. Yeah, sure.
I'll walk
You
over
want my hat?
No, not
All right.
I'll walk over and hand the gun and the belt to Sam. I'm like, "Here, we can probably get some more ammunition for you for that later."
He
Just
says
give
thanks.
me some time. I can make some more bullets.
Yeah.
If anybody wants them.
Sheriff Rose.
What to do with the rest of these people?
Sheriff Rose goes around to the rest of Erlang's gang. Not Erlang. Edgelord's gang, and takes their guns and gun belts, and not a single one complains about it. They're like,
Okay.
no, that's reasonable. Here you go. I'm sorry, but you saw how it was, right? And she's like, I do. And the Derringer in your boot, please. And he said, oh yeah, sorry, forgot. And he's like, hands to her. So, yeah, there's a shift in the power structure slightly.
Yeah.
All right, we can wrap up there if you like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alrighty. Was that fun? Was that worth
Oh
playing?
yeah, lots of fun.
Okay.
So Lloyd, I got a question for you. Does John
Yeah.
or Lang go out and kill him, dump him in the lake with no?
No, unfortunately, I can't kill him, and I don't really want revenge on the guy. I just wanted him to go away as
I'm
quiet.
just curious.
If he comes back, yeah, I'll do my best to kill him again. Because he's like a mosquito. If it's over there, it's not bothering me. But if it's up here in my face, yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
swat it. But yeah, when he survived the fall, the first thing I thought of wasn't revenge or like, oh my god, how am I going to kill him? The first thing I thought of was, well, shit, now what do I do? That
Well,
didn't.
no. What happened was exactly what I expected to happen based on the way the power was described. The ground was the attacker. Therefore, the ground took the damage.
Yeah, it's an interesting effect.
Yeah.
But I could tell that the fact that he kept talking and did not doing anything, even though Donald was goading him as hard as possible, I figured he didn't have any offensive power.
No, he didn't. He was all defensive.
Find the
All
most
defensive.
passive way to destroy him.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, Brandon, that was way fun.
Interesting.
I'm glad you thought so. I thought he'd make a good villain, and then I was thinking that I didn't want to play him as a villain because
The problem is with the truly despicable types is they're really hard to play.
he's
Outside the box.
really a terrible person.
We didn't
Yes,
give
he
him a whole
is.
lot we didn't give him a whole lot of a chance. We kind of cut him off short.
Yeah, it could have gotten much worse as far as that actually went from my
Well, once
point of view
you
really well.
realize that he only has offensive powers in as far as he has thugs. Once the thugs are gone, he has no offensive powers.
That's
So
true,
he is-
actually.
Yeah.
So he is basically harmless.
And so I would like to shift a couple of points around on my character because he needs more endurance.
Feel free.
Okay.
Oh,
I think we all
I did
do.
mention that this kind of is like the end of a little story arc
Mhm.
because you freed the town from Edgelord, so everybody get 1 experience point, which is just like a character point for any other purposes.
Now, if you want to buy something else up as a expertise, does it take 1 point or does it take more than
Expertise takes, if you've already got the skill, expertise is
Yeah.
1 point. If you don't have the skill, buying the skill costs 1 point.
one? Okay, so if I I don't know what I'm going to spend it on. I might, and if I pull my endurance up, I need more than 1 point, right?
Yes, you would.
I might have it for a while.
You can save it up. You don't have to spend it.
Brandon, earlier when Isco was looking around the town, I looked at the skill investigation, and it looked to me that was more like police detective or private investigator type investigation.
Well,
the way
it's-
I read-
It's
I read
finding
the skill.
clues and putting, bits and pieces of information together and drawing a conclusion.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, it's
that.
mainly a
Um,
police
okay.
PI kind of a thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I guess I was looking more using perception because powers of observation to find what I was looking for. That's where I was going with that.
Ladies
That's
and
what I-
gentlemen, I am way past bedtime.
Bye bye. Good night.
Okay,
Bye.
go ahead. We're doing.
Hey, Leslie.
Here we go. Do the closing thing. Here we go. Wait. Oh, damn it. Hang on. I had
By
the
the
volume
way-
turned down.
Before you do that, Brandon, right quick. So Isco is basically is giving John a wide berth and kind of stink eye, and Michael not quite sure about him either. So not anger, just like but you guys kind of thing.
By the way,
Uncertain about their motivations, or
Yeah.
Well, no, Leslie said killed
Well,
the guy.
Leslie's
Michael
character's not as
really was
much.
more worried about you.
I not as much.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm spending my XP on close combat because I have been attacked enough. I need to learn it.
you've definitely been attacked in close combat enough to want to learn that. Maybe Isco could teach you, or literally anyone else in the group. I think could teach you.
Everyone else.
All right, here we go. This has been Pirates of the Mesozoic with Craig Smith, Donald Von Griffin, Karen Torres, Leslie Dannenberger. Thank you so much for staying up so late. And Lloyd Montgomery, and your GM, me, Brandon Blackmore.
Good night, everybody.
Hey,
Good night,
boy, check it
everybody.
out. This is my Lego pirate T-shirt.
I thought that was a Lego shirt, man. That's
I
awesome.
was noticing that earlier. I
Where
was,
did
I
you
was
get
like,
that?
And it's actually Uniqlo in Japan is a little bit like Gap.
Oh, okay. That's awesome.
That's pretty
Yeah,
funny.
way earlier, I was like, "Hey, Craig, cool shirt."
It actually says Lego on it too. And the
Oh,
An
yeah.
official Lego product.
Cool. I'll have to see if I can find it.
Uniqlo does a lot of that mixing of. They call them collaboration in Japan.
Call it what?
Collaboration.
Collaboration.
You put
All
two
right.
things together, kind of come up with something new. Yeah.
All right. Well, I will see you next Tuesday.
All right.
Have a good night, everybody.